I tell you, boy, when if your head not going, if you go to the wrong crowd and stuff like that. I see some people have been up there for years. You have people that you know, you go somewhere else. You have been to the same I see some people like I see some people like never go.
So I even
You are? I think boy, we won't be there. We're talking about shit.
Yeah, the best footballer. They will never produce.
Charlie, long after you. Long. So I did not talk about that. I came after.
I say, usually his partner, Big Brother. Yeah. He said, I come from Big Brother. I said, go Big Brother. Yeah. I guess all the time because my partner got remote.
Down the street. I can't figure out the man bring up the man all by so what I call him.
That's why. Grippers, that's how you do, Bowman.
Bowman?
You serious?
It's a special feeling.
See Bowman? Bowman really, 105. Yeah? He's all body language and everything?
Yeah.
Like 105. He's just 60 something.
That's how bus money I want to travel. Bowman, what's your bus money? When are you traveling that woman? Bowman alone.
Oh yeah, the back. Stuart Charles.
I know that because I saw when you
Actually, I want for you. I'm extra there. It's the extra. What the one you just bringing that out? The extra. Extra. So extra time. So you feel when you used to coach you, they didn't have extra time? No. Now they have water. They have water breaks and
You like hearing me recognize right now.
Charlie down. Charlie there. Like you need your glasses so.
You know, I played you when I was 15 years old.
I used to come there.
What you say?
Everything good?
I just have one of them machine on the machine. I even tell you that everything safe. It's good, guys. It's good. You have to come down and see what's going on. You know, don't step down the time. Come down and see what's going on. Yeah. What happened to you, neighbor? Huh? Coach, what you say?
Even before my time and during my time, after that, maybe not anything yet, but
because you never know, because out there you go out there early, and you into the system, and you get it. Them fellas, a lot of them fellas make question because they work in the system. You know, what you know is the relative. It's just like you guys are professional. People know one another. They bring one another. A lot of them fellas never saw us.
Dogs. Try and bring him. Tell you what, I'm telling you, 40 years, you will see. When else
Just imagine, you're the only person Charlie recognized right away.
Right away. Everybody. But you just heard the voice. The voice is the Chinese eyes. That unique voice.
And the voice.
Hey.
Hey, Tony, you like this far boy? Mr. Downs.
I'll keep mine. Mount shut.
Hey,
Everybody here.
That's a small. Extra small.
I need extra large, man. Extra large? Yeah, man.
Extra large?
Yeah, man.
What a small is like?
What do you use, Allah?
A small. Extra small.
Medium large. Depends on how big it is.
Well, yeah, it depends on the thing, but normally I think extra large. Richie, what do you use?
Extra large.
Man, I like my extra large. Thomas, why you keep watching me, Thomas?
Charlie, I'm watching.
Wally, but he's surprised. He's surprised.
Thomas? The man just every morning the man holding back traffic, man. It's a noisy. The man is a driving instructor, as you know. The man has his students crawling us up. And you know, on that road there, you can't overtake.
Wally, I'm not just a driving instructor.
You know we used to do with that one. I live in home going to work.
That's not like it.
I live in my home going to work. I live in like home. I live in home like
It's too big? The madam said it's too big, so you have to give me lunch.
I meet trouble on the
Yeah,
road.
that's why I give him. You see?
Yeah.
Two people on the road. I'm Donald Dixon and
Oh, Mark. Yeah, man. Mark.
what's the other guy, the newspaper guy? W.
Yeah.
And there's a taxi for that name. Bro. Rep, this fellas driving 0 miles an hour.
I'm not listening about you, know. That's sending me a video from them about some silver thing. And I said, when you wrote me, only people, and I told you how many that passed through. You went over that?
W was regretting his car. Yeah. He's driving 0 miles an hour. And the car
I'm the same thing, right? I'm the same thing.
Yeah. They won't pass after these guys, man. Yeah.
No, but honestly,
But you know, good was still there in 96. Yeah, and he walks, you know. I was like,
Wally, you said I'm a driving instructor, right? But you missed something. I'm the best.
you're the best?
You forget to say that.
Well, you can say what you want. You can say what you want. I mean, if your students are not haven't reached that level, you know, where they can, you know, keep them in Roseju and so on. So when they're able to drive at a steady pace, you bring them out. No, you don't bring them out.
When will they get there? When will they get there?
No, first of all, they bring them out there where there's no traffic. And then you bring them out there so that they can drive at a steady
I
pace.
used to bring my students on the Clery stop on the banana. A bus drivers trying to make shortcut.
Yes, and there are problems
They
there.
asking me, why is there, you know?
What about Roseju?
Suppose when I have people in the boat, there's the area, I stop with them. If I see somebody catch trees like that, I'm going to go through them. Right? I used to go down all around Right in that area, it's only the bananas, right? And if people meet me, they ask me why is there, come and take pictures.
It means that I have to speak to the transport board about you.
The transport board is like that.
I'll tell Source.
What's it?
I was telling all them fellas, I tell you know them guys. Charlie know Hala, nice Richie, and well, Tom, but the one is called Charlie know somebody guys. Because it's, and the thing about the club there, Charlie, all the fellas, most of them are pastors, you know. The original team, yeah. Yeah.
What do you got to put that on that?
There is no one who used to be.
So why you over your shoulder?
Everybody will. We have no team, no sports team. Nothing we have rugby teams. Girls, we have volleyball team, girls. And Ireland, them play some basketball and some football.
Richard Pierre.
So these guys have this manual thing that they're just taking different people every year. They say that for oh yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how they go.
And what they do, they spontaneous vaccinate different players from different eras. So I give them your name, I give them Carol, I give all the guys different
Hey,
Nice.
what's happening, man?
I good.
Charlie, I go remember you, man.
That's Charlie Brown,
Yeah, that's Charlie. Oh, well, you remember me.
the great Charlie Brown.
Charlie Brown.
The defension. Not giving nice clear ball every morning.
And you remember that header?
Good to see you, man.
Charlie had you always talk about that header.
Boy.
Who crossed Kenny or Stanley?
No, Shabula.
Richard Cross.
Yes.
And Charlie Booth.
Charlie got in there and put that. I see the goalie and everybody in the goal.
Oh, yes, I remember that.
And that time Suai was the national team.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Top team, right?
But Charlie did something. I will tell you now, when we started, I will tell you what he did. Never forget it.
He dropped you. He dropped you from the team. Charlie was captain, man. BBC?
Yeah.
And he dropped you. Charlie, man, you drop Hala, man. Now, man, you talk about Hala in the letter you wrote him, and you say, when Hala, you open the hand in that defense. Okay, man. You control him, man. You remember that? Yes. So, when you say Charlie? The hotel. The old Caribou. Caribbees. Yes.
I thought I knew that was
A fellow, a guy called Weatherhead, a Bajan guy called Weatherhead, a red Bajan. And when you hear him talk, the rawest Bajan out. And Hala made some, when you sit down there with you and talk, made some millionaire or billionaire, made all Caribbees. He owns Sun General Insurance. He owns Senator Rex. Rubis Heck, the gas station, he owns that. In Barbados, he got hotels and he bought land, 250 odd acres in Anse Gallet. I know that's what it's about. For over $5 million. That's what the man is so he bought that. And I was liquidator for that land in I told yeah, 20. Yeah. Yeah, look here, it's on your hand.
All set there?
Alright.
You got your clothes on up.
You ain't sure that?
If anything by you, you know that.
I like to cut your clothes.
Come on, they let you go out late. They let you stay out late. And up by my side there, they demolish the motors, and up the hill they do something, cabin jewels, my God. And big gardens extended by me there, the beach resort.
Yesterday I drive to town there. I want to go to my sister. I go drive it.
I tell you, Hala, I only go to town if I need to, you know. If I'm going to, you know, I just go to town like that. And then Gibson, you drive to town and you have mates or so. With a loner. Go, Richie.
Yes, as you came there, how you watching?
Hey,
You actually?
young man. Felicity, man. Good to see you, bro.
Thank you very much. Tom R. You notice I did not put the... That's right, yeah.
Hey, Richie, you remember the story about Tom R?
Once it have one S, they put two S's in there.
No, you know how we first got, you know how we got Tom R? You know the story about the Tom R? No, Tom R. He and his cousin. He and his cousin, man, Hawk. You know the story about that? How they got
Just give it Nazi and Hawk.
Nazi is the one that gave them that name. Because them guys used to fight for no reason. Every day on the field. So Nazi called my partner Toma and called them one Hawk. Tomahawk. That's what happened there.
You mean not Hawk?
No, Tomahawk. Tomahawk, the Indian. And Hawk, that name stayed with Hawk forever, eh?
Yes. But Tomato.
Thomas. No, but his is even worse because he was Thomas. And the man that dropped that man,
And he
Thomas.
adopted Tomato.
Yeah, you own Nazi, you know. Pocket Supra someplace, man. Social, yeah, man.
I used to call him Lord Hawk. Lord Hawk was a character from St. Vincent. At one point, I was the youngest member of the BCC. I had no money. I wanted somebody sprayed my cell phone. No order. At one point, he was financial. What I was paying himself, so he was unfinancial. I used to call him Lord Hawkman. He was unfinancial, but expensive is why he became so bad.
The story about that. That time.
I am surprised because he was in his drugs and stuff like that.
Every month I would ask for 25 cents. I never told him what I wanted 25 cents for. We the same phone. That's cool. And he give me like 25 cents every month. That's it. Proceed. What do you call it? So you won't believe it. In the end, I am financial. He am financial because he had no idea about it.
Richie,
That's what I'm going to
That's a surprise. I know. You ever surprised me? Oh, no. That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one. I'm not doing what I said. That's a good one. You surprised me. You surprised me. That's a good one. Yo, God, this one. I don't like frying that.
No shit.
Never surprised me. Line up in the chair.
Yes.
So whatever's what together, yo, I'm not going to tell you that I ain't no joke, you know. And that's this. No shit. Remember that? Somebody just said that. When we hold up, you're by take that. You're by fish. You're going to ask me what I get. Yeah, but we're fish. By fish, yeah.
No shit.
Your fellas, see how it has time. I go there to see you. That man is like a body fish.
That's what they're doing, and you're shit.
Little fella. Yeah, that one. Hold on, give me a minute. That one.
That's the man who couldn't pass in the defense.
Charlie Brown.
Now you know.
Yeah, but Charlie, but I come after Charlie. You know, Charlie. If I was going to give Charlie 2 pieces, I don't want to pass Charlie. I told him that Charlie come after me. If anyone there has a piece, Charlie got to give Charlie a piece. I don't put Charlie as a man. You know me, yo, I don't want to give. Yo, I give Paulie. I never forget that. He's calling. I give Paulie. I give Paulie the sideline by the club. Remember that? I put Paulie in the gutter. When they go, we in the bad here. That's what, remember that? I move. I put Paulie for a big. Paulie so here. Remember that? It's right in the corner by the thing. By the thing. Yeah, right now. When I'm sitting on Paulie for a big. I didn't realize. You remember that? No. All the time you there.
Yeah. But listen, nice to see you.
Remember Edwin?
Talking like that,
I come ready to talk shit.
Wrong free! That good first player.
I was saying for us, we said remember we give Spartans 5 more.
Those were good days. Great days.
No, Spartans. We give 5 more. That endless mud. That's when I flick over 10 and I spawn what is that? Mafia.
Oh yeah, Mafia.
I come out the clean, I come out the clean, they never say Henry you good. I come out the mud. I said I hate to get dirty. I come out the clean, but Henry you good.
When they start bringing Bill in a goal.
Oh, Bill, big Bill.
Somebody cross the ball, I go up in here and I hit that in my hand. I saw follow Charlie.
Hello? Testing. All right. Hello. Good evening. Let's get your attention. Yeah. Let's have a. Okay. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening.
Just press the white thing. One video. Yeah, do video in a bit. Okay. Yeah. Lovely.
Hello. Come join us. Come join us, man. Come over here. Come over here. When you go back to Clery, tell the fans here, I look joke. Tell them, come here, international players, sit down here. When you come back to Clery, sit down here, you come here. So when you go back to the fans here, you don't know joke, and different real. I watch you. What's my open?
Y'all will see who giving Salah and who taking Salah. I will never play football. My two left legs will shoot. I will never play football. The
man is a fan. The fan is important too, you know.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. That's right.
Okay, good evening. The Cleryans, our football fraternity, our football family, our friends, best friends. It's before we start. Let me say a little prayer before we start. So let's just bow our heads and give thanks, for being here. Dear Heavenly Father, once again we come before you. We thank you for this glorious day. We thank you for your blessings. Dear Father, we thank you for making us see another day, for the breath of life, which is so important, dear Father. As we are getting older, we thank you for your wonderful blessings of football, what you gave us, something that is so special to the world, dear Father. You have blessed so many of us with this skill, dear Father, and we thank you so much. As we go through our proceedings, dear Father, we ask you to guide us, be a part of us here, dear Father, look over us, and help us to enjoy this moment, dear Father, because a lot of the persons here today, dear Father, has made an important mark in our lives, in a lot of our lives here, dear Father. So we thank you for blessing them, for keeping them alive, the families, dear Lord, those who are here, those out in the diaspora, dear Father, those that are looking in, we ask you to keep on blessing them and the families, dear Lord. Thank you once again. Thank you for Robby's kit, dear Father, for helping us and giving us this area, this venue, so that we could enjoy the camaraderie and the family vibes that we usually have in Clery. We thank you once again, dear Lord. We ask all this through your son Christ Jesus. Amen. As an acolyte, so,
you have a potential to be a pastor.
Yes, well, yeah. My bigger brother was, yeah. Guys, again, Midget Pierre, my good friend, and we all know Midget. Well-known athlete, former athlete, and radio personality, former footballer, track, or everything. Midget has done it all. And Midget will be here guiding our proceedings with me as one of the moderators. Today we just want to thank everybody for being here. It's a special occasion. I think it's our second, event. And let me first thank Mr. Robert Black and his committee, Mr. James, for the work that they are doing and trying to expose, our former legends, our former players, and the community, our special community of Clery. I say special because it is a community that made me who I am today. And my development started right there in Clery. I gave a short story last night, and it's from yeah. Thank you, Robert Kid. And for me today, it's always humbling. It's always I say things with an open heart. I speak the truth when I speak of Clery and my community, because of what I learned and what helped me achieve what I am today and who I am today. When I look here, I could call out the names through all the faces I've seen, I know, and have played a major part in my upbringing. And for players like Dexter, we are the younger ones here today. I know we're getting a little older. You understand? You know? Yes, you know. And when I watch, I look back. I'm just going to start off like that. When I look back at Clery, and as a young boy, 11, 12, growing up in VBCC, and like I said last night, that's where my foundation started. Clery School, VBCC. VBCC made me who I am. It gave me the education. It protected me. You know, I always give that story when we talk about the ghettos in St. Lucia. We had the CDC. And I always say that I grew up in Clery, and not once in my life that anybody from the ghetto in Clery, from the CDC, or from anywhere, offered me a joint to smoke or encouraged me in anything negative. And I must give great respect to my community, to my club. And when we talk about clubs, we talk about All Stars, VBCC, because it's one family, it's one community, the rivalry, you know. We have players like Loshi here. Let me make mention of Mr. Richard Sayers and Mr. Mr. Hala Swaibat Siwe. And you don't like the name, eh?
Only that name again.
And our guest, our honorable, you know, I know him as Charlie Brown. I don't even know his real name. All I know is Stuarty, our coach Stuart Charles, who developed me, who did everything, my personal coach from since I was 14, 15 years. You know, I give a lot of praises to Stuart Charles because he took me from Clery, brought me into the national setup from 16 years, and helped me, was instrumental in me going over to Portugal at 19 years, 18, 19 years. And I thank him for being part of my life. And I left Europe to come back and play for him in Trinidad. A massive decision I had to make. Never regretted it.
I remember when you said that.
Yeah, never regretted it. I left.
I remember questioning you about it.
Yes, I gave up a 2-year contract. I had a 3-year contract. I played 2 years, and I gave up the last year to come back and play because I always felt that after I spent about 10 years in Europe, I felt I wanted to come back. I said anytime there's professional football in the Caribbean, I want to be the first one to be a part of it because I wanted to give back. And that was my reasoning. So when my former manager in England spoke to me, because Stuart, he was working the firm in St. Lucia, when they came back and they made a decision to go to Trinidad, and my manager called me, I told him, just organize a deal for me and I will be there. You know, I spoke to my chairman. They didn't want me to leave. They told me at my age, it wasn't the best advice to leave Europe and come back. But for me, I had a few issues with my coach because I was getting problems, which people didn't realize. I was getting problems coming back to play for St. Lucia. And I always had that thing in me that you bought me as a player because I played for St. Lucia as an international player. And that's why you bought me. So when I have to go back and play, you cannot stop me from going and play for my country. And that was my attitude. And I did that too because we had another player, Carlo Corizani, and a Canadian player. And he captained Canada, played with me at the same club, Plymouth, in England. And it was okay for him to travel to play for Canada. But it wasn't okay for me to play for St. Lucia. You understand? And I had difficulty in being comfortable with that. And I made up my mind. I went to the chief executive officer and I told him that, you know, I'm having issues with the manager. He's playing the other players when they go out and play. When they come back, they start. When I go home, I come back and I find myself on the bench. When they're injured, I'm playing. He's begging me to play, but he's not protecting me when I have to go and play for my country. So I tell him, I think it's time for me to go back. And I was pushing because Stuart, he was going over there. And I knew, you see, people don't understand. My years in Europe, what I realized is that the coaching ability of people, you only realize when you're around them. And when my years with Stuart, I realized Stuart was one of the best coaches I've ever seen in the world of football. And I say that because one of the top coaches in Europe, Alex McLeish, when he first came to Trinidad, he brought Hibernian. And that's why I went back to Europe to play with Hibernian in Scotland in the Premiership. And speaking to me, he told me he was getting difficulty in formations, in a system. And I remember we had qualifications for Europe, the European League. And he said he was getting difficulty. And he sat with Stuart. He told me, listen, you all have a genius in this man. He showed me different ways and different formations. How can you all have somebody like that there and you're not using at a different level? You know, and I came back and I saw Stuart about it, but he's so humble, the humble person that he is. He doesn't take it in, you know, he just brushes it away. And another coach of mine, he coached Benfica, Flamengo, and he coached the champion club 2 years, Jorge Jesus, in the Saudi League. I told Stuarty once that in all my coaches that I've been involved with, you know, in football, there are 2 coaches that I really respect. That's Jorge Jesus, Stuart Charles. And Jorge Jesus, for me, hasn't come close to Stuart Charles. You all will not imagine. I think some people have to be around him to understand what I'm saying, because I've gotten it firsthand, you know. And the tactical ability and knowledge of this man is the most amazing thing. When people started talking about Pep Guardiola, the first time they saw Man City playing, and people started talking about Pep Guardiola and his systems and his formations and the inverted strikers, and I'm going like, but Shorty used to do that with us from the national team. My days in Connection, all our teams played different formations, and all what he's doing, that Shorty used to do that. And people saw it for himself. People were saying the same thing in Trinidad, and that's why he has so much respect in Trinidad. I'm talking about Stuart, and Stuart is not from Clery, but he did something for Clery because he brought me up, and he made me the first professional footballer, the first local professional footballer who left St. Lucia as a young man who grew up here, born here, and left for Europe. He made it for me. I am the first who did that, and he helped me. I was the first Caribbean player to win 2 championships in Europe. They don't speak about it because I'm not Trini. I'm a St. Lucian, so you'll never hear about it, right? Because they have us as small islanders. I'm from Clery. That's what happened. That's my history. I'm proud of it because I'm from Clery. Y'all took care of me. Grapey, your brother, Bowman, Dynamites, Fergie, Richie, Hala, you understand? Bailey, you know, Robby Skit, you understand? Barboy, you know, the guys who took care of me, who protected me, who showed me the way, who always kept me on the straight and narrow at VBCC and in Clery. I thank y'all. My heart goes out to y'all because y'all made me who I am today. You know, and I'm proud of it. Today is not about me, but it's about y'all, but I wanted y'all to know what y'all did for me because it's important. You understand? And I think that's what's lacking now because the generations coming up, they don't have anybody to look up to. Or they don't see players. I came in through maybe God's blessings. I came through an era where in the 80s and 90s where the players that were going out, I got a little bit of them. And they were good. I tell you, they were good. I tell people all over the world, if they had the opportunities that I had, all of them would be out there. Because they were good. I saw it for myself. You know? So I speak my truth. I know how good they were. I will never forget Loshi Bicycle. I could never forget Barboy when he was playing. Let me tell you something. I tried to be Robby, Barboy, Loshi Buck, all in one. That's how I grew up. Trying to be everybody in one. So that was me. I had to master everything. Stuarty helped me in that, doing that. Training, we practiced everything there was in the book. With Pele, we did everything. Robby runs, I know his runs, I know how he ran, how he used to. I knew it. because I watched y'all, I followed y'all at VSADC. I saw y'all playing. I saw y'all hunger. I saw your runs that people never saw. And saying how somebody doing blindside, that they didn't know. Now people talk about it. But when you're doing it, they never knew. Because that wasn't the topic, it wasn't a conversation, we were not educated that way. But what I learned from Stuart, I realized, but you were doing it. That's what got me there, because when I reached in Portugal, I was at a different level. And if I didn't get that work from Stuart, I would have struggled. A new environment, a new country, I would have struggled. So that's why I say, for y'all, thank y'all so much. And now I will put it back to Media to help me control the proceedings. And Mr. Downs, thank you so much too. VBCC, thank you all so much, for guiding all of us, the young players, the young ones, our young generation. Right? So we'll start.
Thank you.
Let's go.
Thanks, Bologa. Let me say good evening to everyone. When I saw Mr. Black this afternoon, and he told me about this activity, and he said, I'm just going to the airport to pick up Charlie Brown. I said, what? Health challenge or no health challenge, I have to be here. And I'm here. And I'm happy I'm here because I met Helmut, who I've heard so much of, who I know so much about. While I was from Lance Road, I frequent Clery quite a lot. Not for the right reasons. Because when you live and run with Ali Black and Lambi, etc., you know what obtains at Clery. Well, at that time it was Mongi. Mr. Black, let me just tell you one thing. When you have me up front with Bolog, and Bolog saying prayers, and he keeps saying Father, 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 you have to be careful. You know how many times he say Father? He was almost my son-in-law. So he had me on the spot. But as Robby is here, and you're legends in your own right. There was a time when there was a veterans match at the Saab playing field, and Robby was playing. Robby was under endless pressure, but then Robby came out from the game. He sat down and he took out his boots. He said, you know when you're too old to play and you don't have it again? Just give it up. Immediately, you know anybody I want a pair of boots? So he knew when to call it a day. He knew when to call it a day. Like all of us here, we knew when to call it a day, but the camaraderie among all of us still exists. And for me, that is paramount important in moving forward. And I'm happy to be here, to be among so many legends. And having said this, as I always say, it's not about us, it's about y'all. So we'll open the floor to anybody who wants to say a few words. We have 2 mics up here. Don't feel inhibited. I know Lucy does talk endless. Now is the time to hold them.
Yeah, it's just to say a few words.
Okay, yeah. I remember. Working?
Yeah.
I just remembered when I got my scholarship and I was about to leave St. Lucia to go to Trenton State College in New Jersey. Clery boys, roti, poops, the glory side of Clery. That, I mean, at one point, St. Lucia wanted an under 21 to go and represent the national St. Lucia in Tobago, and they didn't have under 21. And the best thing they could have done was ask the Clery under 21 to go as the national team, because we had a united squad. We had Brother Poops, Roti, Dean, Mamai, myself, Kilowatt, just a whole squad of great players. And we went and we did, we represented well, and we damaged everybody that we played with. I remember when I was about to leave St. Lucia, and I said to y'all, guys, our team getting old, we need to bring in some new blood. And I said, let's bring in Ball Hog and Roger Celestin to start bringing some young blood in. And I said to them, that young man, by the time I leave and go to college, I bet you all you're going to tell me he's been picked on the national team. Either that or he has been picked by some professional team. And in my second semester, I got a call saying that Bollock is on the national team. In my 4th semester, I was called and told Bollock was just picked on a team to go to Portugal. On point. respect. I'm very proud of that, and I'm very proud of him and all his efforts and the success that he's enjoying as a result of his tenaciousness and his ball hoggishness, as his name implies. All right.
Thank you, Robby. Helmut?
Thank you, Robby. Thank you so much. Now we have to introduce Mr. Swiper Simei. Mr. Simei was an all-rounder, cricketer, footballer. That's dominoes everything.
And the best critic.
And when he has to give, and that is what you get from the Clery. Eh? When people have to criticize, they give you the good criticism. You have to understand, but they still love you and they still guide you. You understand? And I remember my cricket days. I played with. I'm honored to say that I played with Vala and them at beach facilities. When you what was the team? Beach Park. Yeah. Beach Park Cricket Club. I was the youngest with Mr. Richard Sayers, John, Hala. I was the junior coming through. So we have a lot of history with Mr. Hala. I think you coached the Clery senior team too. Yeah. Right. So you could see. So we in the presence of greatness, and thank you Hala for being here for the long trip back to St. Lucia.
Okay. I just want to say something about Charlie, because most of the people here don't really know Charlie. I'm going to say that my first encounter with Charlie, we used to go to VG and practice football every afternoon. So one afternoon I went to VG, and it's just like a scramble, the people practicing and stuff like that. I saw this old guy on the sideline, bearded, and and he had a I couldn't remember like that. Yes, he had a Puma boots, and the boots was on the side. It shows you how much that boots had gone through. So he comes asking for...
Hold on. If it's on the side, he was a defender.
I know, well, he was on the side of the field. So I there watching. This guy asked me, he wants a game. I said, what are we coming to do that? A old fella like me there. So now, if you know football, from the time you give a player a pass, you could determine his quality. So Charlie got into the game. Somebody gave him a pass. And then Charlie screened that ball. Like a fella come try to tackle him and he screened the ball. You couldn't see between he and the ball. I say, what? This guy is a player. So the game started and May started to string passes and kicking it left, right, everything just going in a flow. Then I realized, who this guy was. Then that time he was not in our club. I think Wally was the one who brought him to VBCC. And Charlie was a devil. At training, Charlie used to kick me. He used to kick me if I hold the ball for 2 seconds too late. He kicked in my foot.
And you like that to hold that ball.
I was a skilled player. That's what I depended on. And Charlie was just incredible. I remember the time we played CYO. CYO was the cream of the crop. They had the Clouden, Carib, the Brazilian, Mockin. And that day, they just changed it for me. I used to play midfield. Charlie decided, he was the captain. He decided, he's going to play midfield, and he put me to play stopper. And the rest is history. We scored 5 against CYO. Everybody couldn't understand that. We couldn't beat anybody. And we beat the best team in St. Lucia at the time.
What about Glasgow? I put you on the spot though.
Yeah.
You done?
Yeah.
Give me 72 Popham team.
But I remember, 72 Popham team, I think it was Charlie, Hillary Russell.
Give me that those started, give me the team from the goalkeeper.
I can't remember who the goalkeeper was. I think it was B. Okay, yeah, I think Charlie was the stopper. Yeah. I think left back was Hilaren. Yeah, I can't remember who was right back. Then you had Darius, Shaq, and Bigdo. Darius, Shaq, and Bigdo. And then you had Mockin, the Brazilian, and Clouden. Yeah, remember the song Goal by Clouden?
Nice job. Okay, you got it.
Yes.
Hold on, what was the formation?
But
Well done. Good stuff.
something I remember in that game? Grenada had a guy.
T-Boy was, I think wasn't Charlie T-Boy?
Yeah.
T-Boy
Yeah.
was right. T-Boy was, no,
Yeah, it's true.
yeah. T-Boy was right back.
Right, maybe
Charlie,
that.
T-Boy,
Yeah.
Hillary.
Yeah, yeah. You know what I remember in that game? Grenada had a guy called Marquez.
Yes.
Met had skill like boy. Met he was a medical student in Barbados. I understood that he killed somebody. There was a clash between he and a goalkeeper, and his boots hit the goalkeeper and the guy died. That, I can't confirm, but I remember that. This guy put a bit on Charlie, a wet ground. The ball, Charlie's mate is coming down at midfield back there, and he flicked the ball over Charlie. And Charlie swept it, man, ball. Yeah. You know, how did I say it? Manger! But that was a penalty. I don't know how did we give that a penalty. But Grenada complained, they complained. I tell you, you have to see that. That guy was amazing, man, Maguire. Marquez. The guy, I tell you, on a wet ground, the guy flicked the ball over Charlie and gone. Charlie stripped, man, ball on everybody.
You don't get Charlie problems too. What's that, them two brothers that they found from St. Vincent? What's his again? What's his brothers? No, man. What's his brothers? Charlie, the big Charlie Esquadron together from St. Vincent.
Tringham? Not Tringham.
That too. Pete Morris. Is it Morris? The Morris brothers.
Okay.
Morris, but that Pete and then what's the other defender? The Powers. They had a lot of hair. Remember that?
Yeah. Oh, Spence.
Was it Spence?
Yeah, he played it, but
no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
First investigation. Two brothers. The Powers made us bad. Maybe Charlie Ennis, but Charlie used to come in all the time.
But you know, the thing is,
we
couldn't beat Grenada.
We could see
Grenada
that
was one of the hardest teams to beat.
We could see that we have a lot that will be coming from Roshi when he takes the mic. So let's continue. Allah,
yeah,
let's
man,
continue
and I remember watching the 72 team. That must have been one of St. Lucia's one of the best teams that ever come out of St. Lucia. With the quality of players you had there, these guys were good enough to play in the Premier League. I mean, that's no exaggeration.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, they were good enough to play in the Premier League. So Charlie was exceptional. I mean, I can't find words to describe how Charlie was in football in St. Lucia. And those that didn't see him, they don't know what they miss. So.
I thank you, Mr. Thank you, Hala. Thank you, Mr. Swiber Sime, for the information.
About the 5 that they gave. Our here did the same thing. VSLC was the hardest thing to beat. They were number 1. They had taken over from CYU at the time. And we played under the lights with them for the first time. And we gave them 6. You remember that? Yeah, that's 2 knots, and the lights went off. That's and yeah, that's after. And then we came back and Brother Boop, I scored the first one, Brother Boop scored the second, Perkins scored the third, and we gave them 6. I remember that. It was the best team at the time.
I think Jasper was the coach at the time.
People came down to the field with all the Betty Bear flag.
Robby, they will not. So let's again thank you, Mr. Sime, for the history you have given us on Mr. Brown, and also we want to recognize Mr. John Silly, Dynamites, one of Dynamites, Melton Dynamites, and our council who just walked in, Skins, our former striker of the Clery team too. Look, he's on the other side. Thanks for coming. So now we have with us Mr. Richard Sayers and and Mr. Richard Sayers, a former coach, a former player, and a legend, a real legend of the Clery, who passed through, who gave us the knowledge, imparted knowledge into so many players, senior players in our team, our youth squads, and we thank you for being here. We know that you have had some difficulties, but we thank you for making the time and being here with us, and we appreciate you always.
Yes.
It's a photo takeout, so just go.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Thank you, Bolog. The incident, the game against VSADC, I was the coach of that senior team at the time. And I remember they had us tune out. They took the lights. And it rained a bit, and when we got back on, I do not know, but the Clery team just took over VSADC. And we gave them, I think, fellas say 6, I think it was 7. 6. I remember Perkins, the famous Perkins. He was on the bench.
Giddy up.
Giddy up. And I made a change, and I brought in Perkins. One of the VSAD fellas pick up Perkins. Perkins come by the sideline. Coach, you send them fellas to kill me. I tell him, let me tell you, get back on that field and do what I tell you. And he scored. Thank you very much, Coach. That was Perkins. Concerning the 5 against CYO, Charlie, Carol, myself, I think we were the scorers at that time. And that day, I tell you, I ran like I never ran before. And yeah. And that was one of my greatest games. Yeah. And I remember Charlie with Carol and myself on a Sunday morning. Charlie would have us on the field, the 3 of us training. When we finished training, Charlie would bring us by Hilltop, a Coke each, and get out, boys. Remember that, Charlie? Yeah, we spent almost a whole Sunday, and with Charlie, myself, and Carol, my top partner. Yeah, that's when yeah. And Charlie sent us, gave us a Coke each, and get out, boys. Yeah, but it was it was very kind of Charlie at that time, because he had Carol and myself under heavy manners, and I learned a lot from Charlie. And because of his coaching, when I ended up leaving VBCC, mind you, I was captain of that team, because yeah, Charlie was captain, he left. Carol was captain and they left. And at the end of the season, they gave me captain. I remember picking the team with Wally. You know, sitting down with Wally and things. Right. But being captain of VBCC, I learned a lot for the short time I was captain. And I took it into All Stars. Okay? The history of All Stars, forming that team, it was a very difficult decision for some of us, because we were senior players with VBCC. And they did not want us at the time that we could not play we could not be in 2 clubs at the time. But when I look back, when we got 2 trophies, you know. We got 2 trophies, the Stuart and some other trophy. When I look back at forming and with All Stars, there were guys in the bachelors, Bolo called it the ghetto, it wasn't a ghetto. Okay, correction.
Yeah, the bachelors.
The bachelors, yeah. And we had certain guys, young guys there, that did not want to play or join VBCC because of the stigma they heard about VBCC, this and there were quite a few of them. So some of us, be like myself, Tiff, a couple of us, we sacrificed ourselves not playing first division. And we went down to form All Stars. When we got into Redstein, there were 5 teams, okay, that just came in. Teams like Menard Hill, CDC, and some others. They wanted us to play the 3rd division and to put us to play on the college grounds. 3 other teams pulled out. That's how we got into the 2nd division. Yeah. Some of us, the first year, we had 7 players on trials, national trials, and 5 made it to the national team. So you see, that is why we wanted not to move away from VDCC. We wanted to support these youngsters like Loshi, Big Bull, Herman, not Herman, Clinton, yeah, Patch, all of these guys. So, yeah, Patch. And all these guys, if we did not make that move, these guys would be on the sideline. You understand? So we sacrificed ourselves, not playing the first division. Now, why we got into 3 teams pull out, and we got into the 2nd division. We won 2 trophies during my time as captain. The name All Stars came out from Ferguson, Glasgow. We were looking for a name for the team. And he was this American, believe in America. And he said, All Stars. Yeah, and that's the name of All Stars. Now, Hala, how many times y'all beat us? How many times? In the let me tell you. They beat us to me. They beat us once. To me, they beat us once in competition. But on the afternoon, once. Yes, in the final. Yes.
Was it once?
No.
Many times.
Yeah.
A classic example of this is your Poland. I remember.
Yeah, but I remember Bedge slapping Loshi. Yeah. And when I saw that, I got some, because we played at the sub, I got some sun. Yeah, and for slapping Loshi, that son was in Bedge's eye, man. Yeah. And he calling the referee, see what? I see myself, you want to take advantage of the little boy? Sun in your eyes. Yes. Yeah, so there's a lot of history in the Clery when it comes to sports. I remember also we had the best cricket team, Beach Park. Yeah. All over the island we used to beat them.
Yes.
Yeah. I remember one year I scored the most runs, 300 and something, and I was out twice at 98, and this thing burned me. I couldn't get a century, man. But we had a very solid team when it comes to cricket. I remember Bolog, I remember Loshi coming and try something, but we had a team from the Clery. So the Clery had a lot of, they had a lot of talent. You said dominoes, football, cricket, volleyball,
That's
netball, even netball. We had a very strong netball team.
Women team too. Volleyball's women.
I think Wally was coach at the time. Okay, so that's all for now. Thank you.
Thanks, Richard. Thank you so much.
I just want to piggyback on
Yes.
because I think that we spoke last night. And I would say, to me, in La Clery, we should have the best football team at all times. The 2 main resources we got it. We got our own field and we got the beach. Remember I told you that last time? You said the coaching, you understand that? And that's how also we became good. On the beach, and we started playing small goal. We started playing small goal every day. So I became a good soccer player. And then because we do resources, I said, La Clery should always have the best team at all times. The field, we are the only people that have our own field, apart from Wales. Marshall, well, they have 20 years from Marshall. It's us. I came back, I left Central 1984. I left 84, my eye injury, you all know that. I got my eye injury, that's why I went to the States. I almost lost my eye. When I got to the hospital, to 2 American doctors. And then they shut down the whole hospital. They fixed my eye. And when I came back, they said to me, you want to go to the States? I said, yeah, but I know
once I get a visa, I ain't coming back until I am straight. But that's how we go to the States. That's it. Yeah. And when the guys go from Boston, I went to the States. My family was there. They fixed my eye. It's better than the good ones, so I glasses and things. And then, thank God, and that's why I went to the States. My eyes good job, and then, yeah, you know. I played for a little bit. I played for a little while, but I was not, you know, because I wasn't worried about my eyes, so I never really, I was always scared, you know, because the eye injury, I was afraid, so I just kept it. I started working on anyhow, the rest of history, soccer history, but I came back the first time after, it took me a while, maybe 20-some years before I came back to St. Lucia. I came to Clery, I saw horses eating grass on the field. I was pissed. I said, what? Horses on the field? Clery field? I'm like, what? At night, I was so depressed. Swear to God, I was mad. I said, no, I can't believe this happening. Because I remember, we used to morning on that field with the horses, we have time. I remember fellas, you know I got good on soccer, them fellas used to come and they leave a game for me, them older fellas go and they go home and they say back and they come and they kick in out, I sit on the sideline. And one day I say, you know what? When I start playing, holla at them fellas, ain't gonna make me get up. I get good. I start playing without boots. That's why I told you, there are fellas that can't play with boots, you know. I try. They're so good, yeah, they can't play boots. I'm serious. Them guys can't play with boots. Fast can't play with, and never could play for, and they play for the boots, and we good, and never put boots on them, never lapo. No, serious, that's how we grew up playing soccer. Seriously, we grew up here. With that, that's what I'm telling you, so we should always be good, because we have the two main resources. We are on the field, and the beach is one of the best things soccer ever thing, you know. And you know, I was telling, you talk about your coach. You know what's better than him? My best friend, his brother. But he passed away young. He passed away after we became a
He told me
student.
about his
that
brother.
Was
Yes,
great.
he did. Yeah.
That was my best friend.
Yeah.
My best friend. He was really your brother. Oh man.
He always told me about that.
Yes. Yeah. It's one of the greatest things that you ever see, because we were tight. Yeah. We came to school and he John Dis. Well, he had John Dis, right? John Dis killed him, yeah. After he died. After we came to Sweden, he passed away. That boy was awesome, yeah. So let me tell you, so before he passed away,
he told me, he gave me the history about his brother.
We were tight, my boy, yeah. At his funeral, I had his speech, everything, yeah. So, but I just want to say that because I saved my best speech for Saturday night, man.
All right,
okay. So, but I want to say a little bit that, you know what I mean?
Thank you.
Yeah. You know, but still, it's on a little bit, you know, yeah.
It's always, listen, it's always good to get your views. And give us a history.
Yeah, but I want the young fellas to embrace that, because it's use the field and the beach is the best thing we have, and let's use it, man.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. It's like,
thank you so much.
He's like only the guy in the train.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Everybody knows I am a man with two left legs, but I'm the one with the pen, the best pen. All right. I'm on a project right now, and I'm not gonna reveal it, but I was doing my research. And I asked Beige, Anthony Quintin, what happened? All right, so he said to Hala that today I'm gonna get Lochi. And Hala was wondering, well, what's going on? What's in his mind? So Beige told me that throughout the game, he's gonna get you out. And he gave you a nice fiver, good slap across the face. And then he ran next to the ref. That ref was Mr. Francis. He doesn't like that nickname. Mr. Francis told me he doesn't like that name. But yeah.
That's his name. He has no choice.
Yeah, he told me he doesn't like it. But he told me how he got it, and he told me why he doesn't like it, and I respect it. But then Beige ran behind Mr. Francis, and Lochi was all high-tempered and wasn't having it. So Lochi went and gave him a... so the ref saw that and, you know, escorted you out of the game. Yeah. But Beige pre-planned that. He did pre-plan that slap for you.
Yeah, you know what's funny though? Because we had a meeting, remember we had a meeting.
Yeah.
You see what Andy? They'll come after you. He said, but you have to keep your cool, because, you know what I mean? And I couldn't, because he actually slapped me.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
He slapped me.
He pre-planned it.
And as a young man, you know, I felt very disrespected. No, seriously. Because it was one that I already scored, because that day I wanted to put 6 on them, but I was on the road, because I was in my prime. I would give them 6, I'll put 6 on them. We lost it. That's why I lost it.
Council, can he still sue at this present time?
I dribbled some, because, you know, I dribbled some right, and I scored early. And I said, well, that day I scored 6, and I was in my mind, I scored 6, I was ready. when he slapped me as a young man, I was like, really disrespected. I went after him. And so this guy said, when he come after you, stop, don't do nothing. I'm sorry, man. You know, so I went and then I got banned. You know, they banned me for that because when I went to the committee, they said to me, it was coming and said, hey, but you knew that, so why you reacted? So we're gonna ban you. They banned for like 6 months.
So now we know now we know why. Yeah. Now this afternoon we welcome the great Charlie Brown. So I went and meet, I'm not pointing fingers, but I went and meet somebody and he wasn't there. So I saw somebody else. And I said to him, just wait, he was in driving. I said, just hold on, wait there. I'm going to meet Loshi. He's like, what? Loshi's here. Yeah, I'm talking about your brother. Yeah, your brother Charlo. And he said, all right, he pulled up, we waited. And then I said to him, well, we're about to go to the airport to meet Charlie Brown. Charlie Brown? Yep. And then he started giving me history and telling me all sorts of sweet stuff about the great Charlie Brown. Now, while at the airport, Springer, what's his name? Cletus Springer, he came in. And Jason Sifley, made an error thinking this was Charlie Brown because you're already approaching him for the... And then he says, no, I'm Cletus Springer. Yeah, Jason said, yeah. And then so he said, well, who are you here for? And Jason said to him, well, Charlie Brown. And Cletus Springer was like, who, Charlie Brown? He was really excited about it. So when you mention that name, it's like, early on, like I said to the media, yeah, we have the Michael Jordan of our, we have Muggsy Bogues, and our Charlie Brown is like our Bill Russell, you know what I mean? One of the greatest. Anyway, I'm going to pass it on to you now. Yeah.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Whilst because we are linked, we want to shout out, we want to give we know we have our support out in the diaspora, and we just want to mention a few names that are not here with us, but they are legends and players like Roti, and Brother Poops, Paulinus Louis, and Ray Isaac, who's here, who's going through a difficult time. But that's players that have done so much for Clery. Lincoln Charles, yes, Lincoln Charles, Mamai, Mr. Phillips, Stanley Phillips, yes, one of our legends, our greatest players passed through the game. Also, we have our younger players too, through that, David Flavius, my younger brother, and Winston Regis, yes, another one, wins the Wizard, All those players that I saw for myself with my naked eyes, the marvel in Clery. And also we want to say a few words to highlight people that have been a big part to, like the coaches, the former coaches, like Mr. Walter Joseph, who played really, God rest his soul, who played an integral role in the majority of the young players that passed through Clery. All the hard work, the mornings, 5 o'clock in the morning, running up VG Beach, the training sessions, nothing was too much. We were always out at his house, His family embraced each and every player that passed through the community. They are legends. Bailey, who gave us everything, did our CMOS, our carrier suit out today. Before we leave tonight, I think we have to sing that song, If You Follow the Clery Boys. Yes, and Hilarion Alfred, who was the next. Big Dean, who's another player. Yeah, one of my favorite players in Clery when I was growing up. Big Dean, who played basketball for St. Lucia together with Marcelo Steed. DT was inspiring. When I was growing up, he was inspiring, an inspiring young man. And I remember he went to Castries Comprehensive. He was one of the young leaders in our community in Clery, in VBCC. I remember the elders like Mr. Downs. I'll hold that back. I remember people like Mr. Downs and Mr. Henry Phillips, trying to encourage and helping him to become a young president of the club. You know, so he was one that they were pushing because he was one of the leaders, exceptional leaders in the community in Clery. And today, even today, when I see Dean, I still have a lot of respect for him because he's one, I try to follow his path because he was good at basketball, cricket, whatever sport, whatever there was, he could have played it. And he wasn't just a normal. He wasn't just normal. He was great at everything he did. You know, so that inspired me, and that's why I try to do what I did in my career. I got a basketball scholarship, as short as I am. When I got my professional contract, I got the same year. I left St. Lucia in August '91. I got a scholarship for Alabama A&M University to play basketball because the coach said that, don't worry, you would get. The coach said that football, you're already there. So I got a basketball school, but I chose because of the Ku Klux Klan and my research I did. I went the other way. I said I wanted to be a professional footballer, and I went that way. So
it's just that, you know, we had some sports people that they were multi-talented. They did everything.
Everything, yeah.
Cricket, football, basketball. Myself, I was into that, and one of us one of those. He was very multi-talented. Which, if you have talent, any sport that comes around, you can do it. And
yes.
Bolog was one of them. Yeah. Bolog, Dean. Well, I am talking myself.
So before Celia wants to come on.
Okay, let me just have this one, right?
But how Charlie ended up playing for that people? You don't give me a
We have to get the story. We have to get that story tonight. Yeah. But Wally, Mr. Downs will say a few words.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. No, we'll get to Charlie. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, just quickly. Early on, Richie. Yeah. Early on, Richie made mention about Perkins scoring a goal, and we winning that game that night. Clery held a record for a while. We won every game under the lights. When the lights were introduced to Mindufili Park, we had won all our games. Yeah, but prior to Perkins getting bruised and scoring that goal, we have to show a lot of respect to a gentleman. But before I mention that gentleman, one of the guys that we forgot to make mention of is Stanley Best. Yeah, yes. Stanley Best is one of the greatest. Yeah, and you know that, Lucy. He's your brethren. Yeah, yeah. But in that game, we played against Naya Binge under the lights. Yeah, and prior to Perkins scoring that goal, we had the great Dala, who scored from the half line. Yeah, and Dala has represented the island and Clery and made his great contributions. Stuart Charles, you used to call him Big Baby Whale. That was your nickname for him. So we want to give great recognition to Dala for that. Yeah. So right now we want to pass on the mic to Mr. John Silly.
Yeah. There you go, sir. Yeah. Good evening, all. Nice to be among the legends. I could see some familiar faces and not so familiar faces. Okay, but be that as it may, I see most persons talking about Charlie, so I will just say that as a little boy, I was not a VBCC fan. I was a CYO fan, so when I went to Marshall Grounds, it's more CYO games I would go and see.
You used to live like Clery, sir?
No, at the time I came from Waterworks Road just like Stuart. Okay? But in 1971, when we played the Pop-Am, I saw Charlie, and I remember making Rat jumping over that galvanized fence at Mindufili Park to see Charlie. So I did see a little bit, and I saw the class. Okay? There is something about Clery that is just different to most communities. Whether you live there, you used to live there, you are in transition, there's something that binds you to that community. And that is what happened to me. And Clery gave me a second thing.
Clery is into football, and football is my passion. So it's a nice community to live in, plus it gave me the football. I just want to go over one or two little things that happened in Clery football. I do not know if Hala can remember his last game as Clery's coach. It took place in the SAB. Hala was the coach. Scott, the late Scott Joseph, was the manager. Hala picked the team. Scotty come with a different team. Yeah? Okay? Scotty picked Junior Francis. Hala said Junior Francis not playing because he's not training. Scotty said, I want to win. We must play Junior Francis. Okay? That was Hala's last game as coach of Clery.
So Scotty fired Hala?
Scotty fired Hala. Or Hala fired himself. Okay? Okay? We have Richard the first. Richard was Clery League's very first coach at the senior level, our very first coach. I think that year we got to the semi-finals, okay, at the national level, our very first coach, okay. Earl Jean, I remember coaching Earl as an under 15 player. No, it was under 16 at the time. And we used to train something like 5 o'clock in the morning. And when it is raining, I am tossing in my bed. I say, boy, you think them fellas go come? But as coach, you must go. Even though the players do not come, the coach must go. And when I get to the field, there will be one player, Earl Jean. He had a ball, putting it down in the center, kicking it into the goal, going and take it, put it back in the center, kicking it to the goal. Now, I cannot tell you that I knew Earl would play professional or he would make the national team. I didn't know that. But what I saw was a player who was determined. And none of us can ever be jealous of where he got to because he put in the hard work. We talk about that game, VBCC All-Stars, what I do remember, and I give my friend a lot of pressure for that Hidden Ford Stonehenge. Because I remember as I was going to comprehensive school. I just left Compre, and All-Stars painted on the road, champions, and they wrote the names of all the players. Champions, only to find out VBCC beat them in the finals. Okay. Okay. I mean, there is so much that we could talk about in Clery. There's so much that we have done, and there's so much that we can continue to do, because among us, among the people of Clery, there is the talent. And I understand where Loshi came from, when he said that to come on the field and see horses on the field, it hurts. Right now, we are the semi-pro champions in St. Lucia, Clery. We are the black hat champions in Clery. But a lot of the players do not come from Clery. There's a transfer system, so you're allowed to take players from wherever you want. But what is interesting is that those persons chose to play for Clery. Okay? Because the players now in Clery feel that they are entitled. Because they are from Clery, they must make the side. They no longer have that in football. Fight for your pick. Fight for the right to be on that team. And that is what we are pushing. Okay? For persons like Fabian, Descat, Robert, and so on, who have contributed to the Clery Football League, I will not be there on Saturday because I have to leave the island Saturday morning for Aruba, another part of my training as a coach educator with FIFA. So I have to go out and do that. But please rest assured that in spirit I am there with you. Okay? I know the journey, the work that went into getting this thing has not been easy. Okay? So thank you. I know that I will be one of those awarded because I've been told. I'm saying thank you from now. Okay? And guys, Robert, so-and-so, Apik, thank you very much for the work you all are putting and recognizing the legends of Clery.
Thank you, Silly. Thank you. Thank you.
again, John Seeley instrumental. He said it. From Active Hill, passing down, picking me up on the training field. John Seeley, Isley, Walter, Scotty, my great friend Scotty, who we won so much with him, with Robert Black and Junior Black. We formed that team. We were the first. I remember we came out with a team called Upsetters, and I think Mr. Cyril Police had to make us drop the name because they said it wasn't becoming of young men. So, and we came out with Juventus, and it was Mr. Robert Black and Ellis Black, one of my favorite players. My generation, I think was a goalkeeper, but wasn't. Yeah. We didn't sack you, Apik. It was a decision between Abbott and Joe Boy. Hold on 1 second, Richard. Hold on.
Juventus was a team formed by a group of young men in La Clery, what we call like ACs area. If those who are familiar with La Clery, they know what I'm talking about. So there were guys like Liz, Ball Hog, Hazard. So Apik was one of the guys there. So my good friend Apik felt because we were buddies, I would give him a free pass. And he thought because Hazard was his nephew, he would just walk into the team. So we decided, that's not flying. No, that would not fly. So up to this is something we're talking about 40 years ago, you know. Every year Apik comes to St. Lucia, he tells me the same thing. I owe him. Yeah. But what we're trying to explain to our friend is not because we are friends, you get a free pass to play on our team.
Yeah, that is
our team was very successful. What I remember, our very first year, we were the champions. Radicals was the team.
The team, yes.
Radicals, we beat in the finals.
Yeah.
We beat them 3-0. I remember that. I don't remember the year, but we were the champions. Yes, we were the champions. Now, I was a former Radical. My first team was Radicals. So when my colleagues, the young guys around my contemporary decided they wanted to form a team, they called me and they say, Albert, we want to form that team. So I say, okay, I put my hand up. I say, I'll be part of this. Be one of the guys spearheading this. And we went around. I call it, we were the players of that generation. Yeah. We had all the young stars, Ball Hog, Ellis, Hazard, Roger, you name it. We were the up-and-coming guys. Alec. And Roger came and joined us. Roger saw goodness. so Abraham Mentor was part of our team. No. So I had an argument with John Seeley a few years ago, but I didn't have no support. Maybe Bolog wasn't there, Ellis wasn't there. He said the first year we came out, we did not win. We won. We beat everybody, and we were just young boys. 15, 16. I mean, I was the oldest guy. I was about 17.
That's why Scotty could have paid money for players after.
Yeah. Now, I must confess something. Scotty and I fell out. And the reason why we fell out, I felt that we had enough young talent among us. Scotty was a guy, he was, how would I explain that?
Win at any cost.
I don't want to say win at any cost, but he was a guy, he felt that strong teams, if you have a strong team, you would eventually be successful. Now, I had a different opinion. My opinion was we were young guys, let's develop young talent. We were all young fellas under 20 years, so I said, Scotty, let us develop them guys. We're going to be the team of tomorrow. We're going to be the senior team in the next 3 years. But he didn't see my vision. He felt that, boy, we have to win. We win once, so we have to maintain winning. His thing was win is a habit. I agreed to a point, but I said, no, we could still win with this young talent. These young fellas we can still win. So he decided, no, he must bring in some older guys to blend with the youth. He bring Robby, he bring... I was mad at that. And that was our fallout. But I always maintained a cordial relationship with him. That was our difference. I felt that let's go with young talent. Don't go and look for fellas outside. We have young fellas there, let's develop them. Don't frustrate them. Next thing they say, oh, I want to play again. And that's part of what happened to a few other guys like Alec, Jim. He felt, oh, them fellas not good enough to make the cut. I say, yeah, they may not be good enough today or this year. But if we develop them, in 2-3 years, they'll be the top team. And we prove it. We were the top team. You know, and Juventus prevailed for a number of years. Yeah. So that's my story on Juventus.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
Thanks. Again, yeah. Again, hold on, Again, as we keep speaking, yes, as we keep speaking and highlighting moments in the Clery history, things keep popping up in the mind, and it's good, and that's what we want here, because it's a meet and greet, you know, and to bring out what happened in our history. And just as we're going along, we tend to forget a lot, but we cannot forget Daddy Charlemagne, again, who was, you know, always there on the field with us, always there, inspiring person, you know. Those are the... you have to come on the mic, I need you here, because... Yes. Daddy Charlemagne did a lot. Daddy Charlemagne was not like Jack Warner, right? But Daddy Charlemagne had all control of what was going on. He would support every team, everywhere, you know. He would always be the first one in the Clery for games, and always supporting each and every one player. He didn't have no favorite. He just wanted football. He wanted the young people to... Yes, and Old Man Cox too. Yeah, Mr. Cox, another one, you know, a great stalwart of La Clery. You know, so we have them. Julian Monroe's, you know, a teacher of La Clery. You know, Vernon Nicholas, Lurch. You know, so we have the leaders, we have the men and women that pass through. You understand? So, you know, I'm happy what's happening here. I'm happy about the memories, and I really want more persons to come out. I think we'll have Mr. Charlemagne, you know, so that he could talk. Richie wants to say something, but we have Mr. You ready? Not yet? Okay. Yeah. Mr. Maitland.
Yes, I remember when I was coach of the senior team, Scotty was manager. That year we did very well. We went up to the semi-finals in the park. The following year, Scotty, I was still coach, Scotty wanted to bring in fellas from outside the team. And I told Scotty, no, you cannot do that. He insists. And he got support from the executive.
Mr. Richard Sayers, we have one lawyer here, and we're not a route.
I gave up, and then I resigned. Yeah. But he got support from the executive that they should bring in other players. And If you check, I just asked Robby for the picture of that great team. Yeah. But I told Scotty that if we bring in these players, they will get on, they could disrespect people where they go and play. And then they would say, it's like Clery. I said, no, I cannot take on that. It will, no, that's okay. I remember Hala playing for Central Castries against Viewfort. They had us 3-2. 3-2. And I remember Helmut driving that thing from the pitch. Equalized that. The game, they put the game for the following Sunday. Oh, Viewfort came down with all the placards and all kinds. You know them already. We gave them 5. Yes, we gave them 5 that Sunday. Yeah, because at that time it was the big 3. Viewfort, Soufrière, and Central. Central Castries used to go to, we went to Mabria. We gave them 13. 13. We remember playing Grosile in the sub. And our goalkeeper, excited as usual, he tried and throw the ball. When he tried and throw the ball go in the goal. Ball Grosile up in the air. We gave them 7. That Central Castries team was the greatest ever. Remember Helmut? Most of these guys made the national team. No, that was before his time. Now, I would like to mention 1 or 2 guys who kept All-Stars. It is true All-Stars on the field was great. And do not doubt that, gentlemen. But we had people like Mr. Monrose, Ezra Jabati, stand up, Wayne. Stand up. Yes. Hayden Ford. They are the ones who kept that team. The discipline was from these guys. That is what All-Stars was made, not on the field, but outside the field. And we have to recognize these guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sayers. Thank you, Richie. Again, yes. Thanks for coming, Mr. Monrose. You know, welcome. Of course.
An opportune time to say something. One of the things I recall, the first time I saw you played cricket, and I couldn't understand later on that you turned out to be such a great footballer, because I always thought that had you played cricket, when I saw, I said, what? That's future. But the rest is history, as they say. I recall when, in those early days, as young men, all playing together, getting into the football, and we had to form this team called All-Stars. At the time, I could tell you, it wasn't an easy task. Roshi could tell you, a bit of indiscipline, so to speak, because those guys were very, 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 very skillful. And trying to harness that kind of skill beyond football, because as management of the team we saw, we knew their skills, we knew we could have won, and we won. I mean, I'll leave that to Richard, Roshi, and all to talk about the actual abilities. I'm not going to question that. But I'll speak on the management side of it. And somebody spoke earlier on about criticizing, and that was common. And I recall at our meetings trying to instill Robert Rules of Order. Most of you would know that, parliamentary procedure, because it could have been chaos at the meetings, especially after a team, picking the teams, etc., and the discipline. You had to address the chair. When somebody is speaking, you had to wait your turn. And you do not start by finding faults with everything they had to say. The technique was, if you say the good things you know about this individual, the blow is a lot less when you say the negative about him. And we try to put that together. And I say that job, I called it a job because it was more than just playing football, which they did. We had to ensure that as young men growing up, and I remember when I met Roshi some time ago in Connecticut, the first thing he says to me, Wayne, do you remember? Boy, you know, that first job I had, I say I didn't remember that. And he spoke of how well he did at the job and the few things that he learned from outside of football. And with Ezra Shabatis, Hayden Ford, there's one, and Vincent Archer, yes. Those were the nucleus of the backbone of All Stars in those days. Mr. President, you had to write the letters. Mr. President, Blokorama, you all remember that? That was the first Blokorama All Stars fundraising. You all recall that? That's where we picked that up. And we brought that here and etc. Yeah, but right here in St. Lucia, it was us. Right. So, in those days, the objective was that of raising funds, etc. So, for me, I thought, growing up in Clery, I couldn't think of any community anywhere else in the world that would have been a better place to raise your children and to be there. It was beyond question. And I was young too. And to some extent, when you lead in a group, you won't believe how much discipline that's forced upon you, because you have a role to play, a job to lead. And Richie in those days did the job on the field. I remember Baby, for instance. Baby, our friend. And we would say, Baby, you're not playing today, because he didn't practice. Baby would come at 11 o'clock in the morning, straight from sleep, and want to come in on the field. So quite a few things. For me, the emphasis or the nucleus of All Stars, it was a bit unfortunate too that we could not have gone for much longer by the time Skeens and all those guys came in. But the whole idea was that when myself and Ezra and all of us move on, for the club to have continued. And I remember the job of putting the Constitution together and getting everybody a copy and to bring up the Constitution, etc. Because to make young men of themselves beyond football. So while I have absolutely no doubt that All Stars was the best, notwithstanding, All Stars was definitely the best. And for you to have a team at the time where you had 7 players with notwithstanding, they were the best. And we were proud, because it was one thing to have moved away to some extent from VBCC. The sacrifices some of the guys did to come to join to ensure that people like Roshi, because just think of it. And if we look at it, not that doesn't matter. Just think of it. If that had not happened, Roshi, you think going through BBCC at the time, you would not have been able to do that. Never. It just would not have happened. Because guys like Haga, yes. So, but you see, we had fun. We grew up. We enjoyed the time. There was harmony. So, I mean, just imagine 20 years later what Clery became. You know, and rightfully said, somebody said about I think it was you, nobody offered you a joint. I spent all my years, I have never once in my life smoked a joint. And guess who I am? Right in that bachelor's where you might have called the ghetto. It didn't mean nobody else smoked. I'm not foolish. You had to hide. But it also important was on the team. we did not encourage it because that affected your ability to play on the field. Because I always said, when you're high, you think you're moving at breakneck speed, but you're really moving at dead slow and stop. But you don't realize it. But we had fun. We had fun growing up. And I could tell you, just imagine, this is my best friend up to now. So that tells you, from football days, you know, Ezra, we click. I mean, the other guys went through. When I saw Roshi after how many years, I mean, that was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I mean, like a new dawn for me. And I better tell you what it was. I was in, there was a get-together in Connecticut, and this guy walked through. So I went to somebody, I said, who is this guy? He said, this guy's from St. Lucia, but he's from Babono. I said, oh no, he couldn't be the guy.
40 years, 42 years.
Yes, he couldn't be the guy. But that was, something was telling me I know this guy. So somebody else came. I said, let me ask you, who is this guy? He said, I'm not sure, you know, somewhere in Castries. I said, what part of Castries? He told me, Clery. Because they speak so much patois out there in Connecticut. I couldn't believe it. When I personally, and I must add, I learned a lot. Not on the football field, but I was an ad hoc supporter of All Stars. I mean, I was there at every opportunity, whatever. But I learned that skill and that ability and today, I mean, that has worked well for me. I have gone on into a social life, Lions, etc. But that's for another show. But I must say, and I want to thank, well, it's a little early in terms of the recognition. Maybe I'll say something at that time, but thank you very much for just the opportunity to say a few words here tonight.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. Come on.
Concerning Charlie, as a young man though, what you remember about Charlie? Anybody, give me anything I'll tell you. What do you remember Charlie when Charlie was playing soccer when he came back? What do you remember Charlie? What? No, that's good. What else?
The Union Hall.
What else? Playing football after 6 o'clock. What happened? Charlie had to get his glasses. You remember that? Yeah.
So,
young man,
I think I heard something like that. Somebody said that Charlie used to play with his glasses.
No. Charlie would have played at 6 o'clock when we say, hurry up before he get dark, because Charlie needs glasses. You remember that?
He used to be like that.
Yeah, I'm telling you. So you see how much I know. No.
But
you remember that? At 6 o'clock, you say, hurry up. You get Jack, you got to get Charlie's glasses and Charlie.
Okay, I just want to highlight something there. I want to highlight 2 points. Loshi, I want to highlight two points. This afternoon when I met Charlo, the brother of our great Richie, right away while we were waiting for you, he said to me, when the All-Stars were trying to come up with a name for the team, one of the guys said, yes, we have the name. Yeah? Oh, wow. Coincidentally, there's a star right there. And he said, yeah, you're already wearing it. The All-Stars Converse. Yes. All right, so, sorry, I didn't get it. The next point I want to make, okay, I'm working on a project. You know the project. And for me to get information on All-Stars, I called the great Richie. I was the one who called you from overseas. Yeah? And then he said to me, he gave me Wayne's number. He gave me a number and said, and he said, what wowed me, he said, just call him. He said to me, call Wayne. He's going to do it. That's all he said to me. Call Wayne, he's going to do it. And this evening, you tell me that you were best friends. I could see why he told me just call him, he will do it. Yeah? And I want to just commend you on you and your cousin, we call him Monrose, yeah, Julian Monrose. Yeah, this gentleman, we've never seen them. I have 2 left legs, but man, we've never seen this. Well, I have 4 left legs, but we've never seen this man, you know. And also, where is he, Mr. Ferdinand? I've never seen you on the field. But still, we've seen you a few times. Yeah, we've seen you many times. But, you know, I just want to commend you.
They have an opportunity. They have an opportunity.
Yeah, go ahead.
They have an opportunity on tomorrow,
Yeah.
tomorrow evening.
Yeah.
So Ferdy could bring out his boots tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He used to come and play, yes. Yeah, Ferdy
But
used to
I'm
come
saying
and play.
I've never seen you. But the sweet thing about it is that these gentlemen were the ones behind the scene making us what we are today. Yeah? Yeah, man.
Yes, and that is encouraging. Guys, yes, Melton, I feel, Melton, I think we have to, we need to get a few words from Melton, from Dynamite. Again, guys, yes, we welcome Mr. Shalmine to come and say a few words. Tigana, Mr. Skins, who was one of our flank players, our special. That's not Skins again. But that was Mr. Skins and Mr. Skills. And Mr. Skins, I watch you all my life too. And enormous, yes, enormous. And that's why I said it's not just skins, but skills. And the talent you watching here, the person you watching here. And a lot of solutions, that's the thing about us, our history. We tend to lose our history. We tend to forget about the players, whether it's male or female, we forget about what we saw, what was there for us. And people like that when, yes. And the good thing is that for the younger generation, as you say that, Mr. Loshi, for the younger generation, now we try to encourage our young kids, we try to encourage the young players to take the schoolwork seriously, because I always believe in sports and education. And this is a perfect example of taking his career as a lawyer, going that way, that path, but being the exceptional footballer that he was. Absolutely. You know, and for Clery, he represented us. Everybody used to come out to watch him play, because skill was him. That was him. You know, forget about that now. You understand? But we had to remember, you know, the joy he brought to us. You understand? Thank you for being there, Mr. Skills.
All right, guys. Guys, first of all, I don't recall any of what Bollock said, right? But anyway, I like to give a very nice anecdote about how I got involved in football. When I was a little kid in the Clery school, I couldn't play football. My mother didn't want me to play football. I would be her nerd. I was a nerd at school, right? Right. Turbo was in my class. And if I did not place in the highest places in the class, I would cry, I would rant, I would rave. I was like, you know, like I was a nerd. So one of the best things that ever happened was, football-wise for me, is when my parents separated. So when my parents separated, most people don't know this or don't remember this, but we went to live in Lance Road. We went to live in Lance Road, and but All Stars was already formed, right? Niam alone didn't come and live in Lance Road. Everybody went to live Lance Road. Niam was in Clery, and I remember the first All Stars team was a under something team, was a youth team, and I remember we made it our duty to go and watch All Stars play from Lance Road. We used to go and watch, and I never forget Patch, barefooted, playing football, dribbling circles around people. And I remember, I think there was a finals where Patch scored
Pat scored a winning penalty for us to win in the sub, barefooted. I remember that. So long before me, guys, Clery had always had intellectual footballers, those who played with their mind. Because everybody knows that Dr. Samuel is one of the best dentists we've ever produced on this island. All right? Yeah. So he played with his mind. I remember how I got into football. So we're back in Clery. I'm like about 12. And everybody want to play football, so I started playing football too. And I'm on the team. So we played Baccarat in the finals. And Rudy Gurley, most people don't even know, Rudy Gurley was a very good footballer. Right? So Rudy Gurley was causing Baccarat all kind of problem. At that time, I really did not like a guy called Steve Black. I didn't like the guy at all because the guy wanted to play for Baccarat. And I'm saying like, but this is one of our best players. What is he doing on Baccarat? He should be playing for us. Anyway, forget about that. Whatever the politics was, he decided to go. And Rudy was running circles around them fellas, Rudy. And I felt I find nothing good to do. The man take a rock, one of the Baccarat supporters, and last Rudy Gurley with it. I don't know if you all remember that. I was right there. And Rudy Gurley couldn't continue playing. And then, I can't remember who was the coach. He say, Skins, your turn, you on. Guys, if you all remember me, I'm 12. I'm this height and about that wide. I'm like a little stick. So, Skins. So here that so a man pass a ball for me. I'm on the wing, and I see Toad, whatever you call it, man food. Then me have Clery in the box, and I'm wondering, but how the hell I can see in a good position to score? How the hell am I going to pass that ball? But I say, oh, I remember in the block, keep it up. Bounce the ball. I bounce the ball bounce. When I cross the ball for Sword, it landed on Sword head. Sword was so amazed, he just missed the whole ball. Sword carry. And Sword wasn't expecting the ball to come to him. Guys, I mean, that height and that size. But anyway. But I'll say one thing, guys. Clery, in my view, is layers and layers and layers of football. That's how we develop. You all guys saw Charlie Brown. I saw Lucy. I saw Richard. I saw my elder brother Niam. I am Baby Cadet, a wild Indian straight out of the West. Lucy, we could have still win that game. That game where they put you out, but Baby was too wild. Baby is in the 6-yard box and kicking the ball in the breadfruit tree in the side. All right, we still fought. You know, I mean, the guys had their plans, they were well orchestrated. But what I'm saying is that none of us, all right, and as one thing I always like about Bollock, and he always said that, none of us are who we are without the guys who came before us. I'm happy to have seen Loshi. I'm happy to have seen Hala. That man could have kicked the ball. And, you know, people think it's just so you're doing things. I mean, I wanted to kick the ball like Hala, and I ended up kicking the ball maybe a little bit like Hala. I mean, or better than him, I don't know. I mean, one of my fondest memories is Boape. Boape, Lord God rest his soul. Boape used to keep for dynamite. I know everybody know that story. But once Boape, from the kickoff, he see me, he trembling. Because I think one day, I think Camp was our manager that time. I'm not sure. Was it Camp or Bailey? And we had a free kick. And we just get a novel idea. Tell everybody, run over the ball. Hey, Boape, wait. When I hit the ball, it hit Boape's chest. Boape vomit. That's one of my fondest memories. But I remember Earl, the great Earl Bollock, who in my view, sorry Loshi, is the best footballer Clery ever produced. You probably come in, you, Hala, and you're in the top 5, Richard. But he is the first St. Lucian to turn professional. And we must give him a round of applause for that. Absolutely. What I always said though, if in our era we had those opportunities, maybe one of you all or us would have gone through and be professional. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean,
let me give you a quick story about that. I remember we go to Matnick. And then Matnick tried to buy me. I was too young. No, sorry, I was too young. When I go to Matnick, the French, they say they never should look like me. But I was like 13. Went to Matnick, I was like 13 years old. I think 13 years old. Yeah, and the man, yeah, they said, stay, go first. I said, no, but my mom wouldn't like that. Yeah. But I'm not taking away from ball hog, you know. Still the best you see, so we good.
But having said all that, I remember very, very fondly. Maybe he doesn't remember. People think it's just so things has happened. Not so. I remember when we finished training, right? I used to love to kick the ball. So I used to stay back and kick the ball to goal, kick the ball to goal, kick the ball to goal. Fabiola learned from me. I used to kick the ball well too. But you know who used to go and take the ball behind the goal? Ball hog. By the time he made 5 years old, he's a ball hog. Just give him the ball. He's going to sleep with it. He waking up in the morning thinking about the ball. Right? And that's why I always knew Mate was determined to be a great footballer. I remember when Charlie gone? Stuart T. Yeah, let's call him Charlie too. I remember when Stuart T tell me, boy, Skins, you don't want to come and play for Pioneers, but I get a little boy. I mean, the fierce loyalty. I mean, when Stuart had his first team, Stuart had given us a 2-week stint. When he came from Trinidad, he was helping everybody, right? And we developed a very good relationship. He, myself, Robert, and Hector. Hector, of course. Gilo. And I remember when he had formed his team, he said, boy, you should really think about coming and join me because I need skillful players in my midfield. But I said to him, Clery forever. I ain't playing for nobody else. I am Clery boy until I die. And then when he saw Mate, he said, Skins boy, I go take Mate from you all, boy. And as they say, the rest is history. How you mean? Yeah. But he told me, and I think Brother Post played for him as well. Yeah. But
because you made national at 15.
That's right.
I made that 16. You remember? I made that 16.
I remember watching him. I mean, he's one of the guys. I mean, I really admired growing up when I watched football. I remember the Fulham game. You was in that when Fulham played.
That's who played from Trinidad.
Right. Yeah. I remember that very, very well. So, guys, all I want to say is that we have all helped each other. We've all built on each other. My crowning moment for me was winning that under-19 trophy for Clery. I mean, we you know, that team was awesome. We didn't draw a game, you know.
Cannot forget that.
Every single team in that competition.
I cannot forget that.
We didn't draw a game. We gave Ancillary 7 in the semi-finals. Them fellas were just coming up behind us. Made Bolo, Ado. Well, Ado was on our team actually. Yeah. You know, I mean, that was a fantastic team. Was that? No, we were that good. And, you know, I mean, my wife has heard me saying that, and I always say it. You know, people look at fellas who are spectacular, who score goals and blah, blah, blah. But there's a player I played with in midfield, and I will always remember him for exceptional skill. I personally do not believe that I was the most skillful player. There's a little fella called Winston Regis, a.k.a. Kilowatt. When Kilowatt give you, he had something called a little flick that we also learned from All Stars. When Kilo give you a little flick, you don't have to look. When Kilo do that, they don't know you over there already and the ball coming and meet you. Right? Kilo was a master of that. That finals in '84, Kilo was one of our best players in that final. That's when I saw Kilowatt play football. I was in awe. I mean, I was one of the senior guys on the team, but Kilo, about a year or two younger than me, Kilo was fantastic. All right? But I also want to... Hey, Bucks. Guys, I'm not going to make any political comments, but it's nice to see you. Actually, I'm not sure I'm going to vote, but it's nice to see you. We'll talk about that later. All right. By the way, I've never left Clery. I still vote in Clery. So, all right. Yeah. I've never left. But guys, I also want to make honorable mention to our supporters. The guys who supported Clery right through. There's one guy you all have forgotten. I haven't heard his name tonight. And we were so wicked. He was a top shadower, so we used to put a stone in front of him. No, Mr. Bookie. Bookie. Y'all guy remember Bookie? Right. And unlike you all, we called our team Radicals after Pookie's son. And nobody found it offensive. You remember Roll? I remember when we came out there, they had we came out with as Golden Creek, because you couldn't get to play for nobody. So Wally had a team called Golden Creek. And then they didn't have enough fellas, so they banned Golden Creek, Pupus. And then we formed Radicals. The first year Radicals come out, we get so much licks. A fella called Bill was in the goal. His brother was Lucy. Bill was one of the biggest comedians I've ever met. Bill going and keep with his first communion gilet on him. So the first time we play Botafogo, Lucy scored like 6 on us. Some of them were good, some of them were very bad. So I said, Bill, how come you saved that? That's my big brother there, I got save. But guys, another thing I want to tell people about football, it prepares you for life as well. And I always tell young people that, especially if you have leadership roles, you go throughout life with that. You know you have to win, you must win, you want to win, you have that drive where you get up every day and you want to succeed. And I mean, even in my career, I credit football a lot for some of the things I do and some of the practices that I have. It's down to football. Understand? If I didn't play football, I didn't play sport, I don't know where I ought to be. You know, because sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, and sometimes you even draw. You understand? And you take lessons from all of those things. You know, and the last thing I want to say about football and Clery is that I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the zudgy we used to eat in the river or the crayfish or the water. But we are clannish. Clery people are clannish. It's like a clan. If I have anything to do, I'll find a Clery fella that can do it. Up to a day like today. If I can't get a Clery fella, then I'm going to look for something. I mean, look at Hazel and I. We know each other and we still, you know, I mean, come on, Hazel, you know. He just celebrated his 60th birthday and that was a blast. You know, I mean, and I have many clients from Clery. Yeah. Anyway, on that note, guys, it is a wonderful evening. I really, really am enjoying it. And I want to say again, as I said last year, and look how quick a year passed, it's a year now. As I said last year, I have a lot of, well, quite a few little awards for different things in life and that. But the pride of place on my mantelpiece in my house is the trophy I got last year for being a Clery legend. That's my pride. Thank you all guys for hearing me. Yeah.
One more thing.
Yes.
If you follow Clery boys,
can we just close with that? Not now.
Yeah, we'll close it up, Dave. Yeah. But let's thank Skins again. Let's give him a round of applause. You know, because the memories. Let's say good night to Mr. Marcellus Backsteed, Mr. Toenail Paul, Mr. Godemore, Franklin Blau Lawrence, Dave. That was the first acolyte. I came under this acolyte there, this one, Monday Z. Yeah, he was an acolyte. Remember, eh? In Mondays, he was an acolyte, right? Yeah, you still an acolyte under Blau, right? So, guys, listen to me. Beautiful event, wonderful, wonderful. The memories, again, the memories, you know, speaking the truth It's about speaking the truth. You know, whether Hala like it or not, whether Hala beat up all stars all the time they met, whether it happened 10 out of 10, is the truth. You understand? But Richie spoken up. Richie want to talk for Charlo now and we're not having that. Right? But as we go along, guys, as we go along, let's give we have a special guest with us. He came here again just because he spoke so much from Trinidad. Every time he speaks about Charlie Brown. You know, and it's with great pride and pleasure and honor I bring Stuart Charles, Février, one of our legends, one of our top coaches in the Caribbean, in the region, in St. Lucia, who has done so much for so many, who brought in so many players to Trinidad, you know, on contracts, got them outside. I think at one time we had about 14 to 15 St. Lucian players playing professionally in Trinidad. From Zane Pierre, who we brought in as a 14 or 15-year-old and went all the way to Italy to play, you know, as our first young international St. Lucian player who played in Italy, you know, and now he's coaching the Clery senior team and doing so well. So we're so proud of him. So let's give a round of applause to Zane Pierre, who's the coach of the year, right, for St. Lucia. He got that award this week, coach of the year. So, you know, magnificent things happening in Clery, you know. So I want to welcome Stuart to say a few words because he has to run. He has a lot of work tomorrow too. He has to be on the move tomorrow. So thank you for coming, Stuart.
Yes, good night to all, you know. Well, as a St. Lucian, you know, football is what has made me the person I am today. You know, I started at a very young age, from primary school, right? I grew up in Waterworks Road, that's close to the Marshall grounds. So I virtually lived on the Marshall field, you know. And what I pride myself by, really, is that I was a national senior player at 15 years old, and I was also the footballer of the year in St. Lucia at 15 years old, you know. And that's what encouraged me, gave me the encouragement, you know, to really take football more serious, you know. And I got an opportunity from a club, Fulham, from Arima in Trinidad, came here. And after the game, they played against Leslieland, the team I was playing for at the time. And after the game, the coach came to me and told me, you have too much talent to stay in St. Lucia if you don't want to come to Trinidad to play football. And to me, it was like going to Brazil. Yes, because at that time, Trinidad top clubs used to beat our national senior team. Because I saw it as a little boy watching Defense Force from Trinidad give our national team 5-0. You know, and there I realized Trinidad football was strong, but I was still a little boy. So when he offered me the opportunity to go to play in Trinidad, I didn't think twice. But my mom did not want me to go because she said I have no family there, and I'm so young. When I start to cry, the whole family.
Quick question. They were playing professional football there already?
No, they were not playing professional yet. They're not playing professional, but I'll come to that. You know, what I said is that my dad called a meeting with the family, and my mom did not want me to go, but I started crying so much. Everybody's swimming in tears. They have to let me go. You know, and my dad said, well, if that's what I want. And that's how I ended up in Trinidad. Right? In Trinidad, I turned professional when I was around 18 years, you know, because I started to play with Pro Pioneers and then Phoenix Professionals after that. And when I was around 28 years old, Romanas Lancico came to Trinidad. He told me, I come to bring you back home. Because everybody tell me, you alone could help St. Lucia football. So I tell him, give me 2 more years, because I was 26 at the time. I thought he would not come back, but he really came back. And since I'd given my word, because I know in St. Lucia sometimes they don't really take the sports that serious. So when I tell him, give me 2 more years, I just tell him that to brush him off. Yeah. But he really came back, and I'm somebody, if I give you my word, it's hard for me to don't keep it. That's one thing about me. So I came back home at 28 and, work with the national team. It's the most successful era in the national team history of St. Lucia. We won 3 OECS titles in 5 years. And then we came third in the Caribbean in the 5th year. And then because of certain problems, I decided to resign. As soon as I resigned, a few years after that, W Connection owner called me, tell me he wanted me to come to Trinidad. They're starting a professional league in Trinidad, and he wanted me to coach his team. And that's how I ended up coaching W Connection. We were very successful. We had the best record in the 20 years of the professional league. We won 6 national championships, 30-something cups, 5 Caribbean club championships, and we were always in the CONCACAF Champions League, Yeah. And I decided to come back home, both Earl and I, because Earl was my player for about almost a decade, and he was the best striker in the league. Earl used to average at least 20 to 25 goals every season. And then when he stopped playing, he started working with me. He came and worked with me as an assistant coach, because I'm somebody, I know the struggle of the footballer in St. Lucia, from since I was a little boy. And I'd always tell myself when I went to Trinidad, anytime I get an opportunity to help St. Lucia footballers, I would. Because I know they had a lot of talent just as good as me. And I considered myself fortunate at the time I got the opportunity. You see, so that is why I brought at least 20 players in the time I spent in Trinidad, always looking out for the players that have talent, to give them an opportunity, And when the COVID came, we decided we'd come back to St. Lucia, to try to help develop the younger players, to develop a better future for St. Lucia. And that's what we have started that process, and that's what we are about right now. So in terms of before I say something about Charlie, in terms of Clery, from a little boy, all the communities in Castries had a club, and the club used to absorb the youth. So you find the older players in the clubs used to raise the youth. You see? Now it changed a bit, because the club's not the same as it used to be. And I always remember Clery was always one of our best organized clubs at that time, because they were the only club with a clubhouse, and still is the only club with a clubhouse. And at that time, the club was called VBCC, Ville Cultural Club, I think. Right? And, well, obviously, their own ground, they had the basketball court, So, and it's a community that always have a unity among them, On the playing field, anytime you pass Clery, you'll see players playing football, from Sunday to Sunday. You'll find that on Marshall Field as well, in the community fields in Castries, And in those days, VBCC had top players in those days. And it carried on from generation to generation before the structure of football kind of changes. And you find, it's not the same. as it used to be. I remember the years Charlie came to St. Lucia and he was playing for Clery. Because I played in 1974. I played with Charlie on the national team. You know, but what about Charlie? Charlie brought something new, in my opinion, at the time, as a youngster, to St. Lucia. And that is the mentality. His mentality was different. You see, because from my experience as a player and as a coach, it's good if you have talent. But to me, the mentality is even more important than the talent. You see, because the talent will only succeed based on the mentality you have behind it. You see, if you don't have the mentality, the talent will not succeed. Because everybody have talent. You understand? It's the mentality that makes the difference in the individual sportsman. And Charlie had that mentality. When he played, he gave you everything. He leave everything on the football pitch when he played. And as a boy, I used to watch that about him because the mentality he had, no other St. Lucian player had it. You see? No other St. Lucian player had it. He was a man, he played serious. When he played serious. You see? And that has stayed with me. When Charlie name comes up and I'm around, that part of him has stayed with me because it helped me as a young player. It helped me as a young player, you know, and that is when I began now doing more individual work and stuff like that, you know, trying to improve my mental attitude towards the game. You see, because it's important in sport, especially team sport, you need to work on yourself individually too, not only with the team. Because the great players, that's what separates them. And that is part of the mentality we're talking about. Because players in basketball, in football, in other team sports, that stay back after training to do extra work on their weaknesses, you know, and keep working on their strengths as well. Spend an extra 45 minutes, extra hour after training working. You don't really get that again. You don't get that much again in team sports, especially in the Caribbean. You see, especially in St. Lucia. I used to stay back a lot with Bolog after national training and work with him individually to screen the ball, shooting, the different techniques, the side volley, you understand, right? The bicycle, almost everything we did. You know, after I'm flying and head the ball in the goal, stuff like that. You don't see forwards scoring goals like that again. Long time when you cross a ball, you'd see a forward flying in the air and heading that ball in the goal. You don't see that again. You understand what I'm showing you? You don't see those things again. Bolog used to do that. Bolog used to do that because we used to train it. We used to practice it. He's one of the best screeners of the ball I know. Because we used to do a lot of that individual work. You see? So I just want to, I know right now with VBCC and Clery, it's kind of different, you know. VBCC is still there, right? The players older now and they're still there, the VBCC players, right? And Clery kind of operating on their own as well. You see, what I would like to see is, you know, you have that combination with the older guys and the younger Clery guys where the clubhouse could be utilized and the field and, you know, because that's the next level the community to me have to go, you see, and to start to encourage the young fellas in the community to have programs for them to start them playing football, you see, at a young age. And hopefully in the next 5 years, 10 years, you could see more now players from the community now starting to represent Clery, you know. So I hope that that's something I feel could work. But it will only work if the community want it to work. You understand? That's the only way it will work. You know? The other thing I want to mention is this for the persons that are working with the players representing the community now. Right? What I find now with the players now, you know, the players now, to me, it kind of difficult for me to explain it. But I find they don't give you their best in training. You know, they don't give you 100% in training. You know, and because of it, sometimes in the game they cannot give it either. Because football is habit. How you train is how you play. Because you develop the habit. Because it's the same football when you're training. And if you develop the habit to train so, you're developing the habit to play so. You see? So I would like you to encourage them to, when you're training, give everything. Play like the way you, train like the way you want to play. You see? Yeah, train like the way you want to play. And keep working on that mental. Not because you won the league last year that you will win it this year. You have to put in the work. Just as you did last year. You have to be consistent. You know, and that's where the mental comes in. Okay? Because you could see football is a game like you could see Manchester City. They won 4 years straight. And the 5th year, they were in a mess. You see? So it's not easy. It's not easy because to win 4 Premier League straight, not an easy thing. Because the English Premier League is not an easy league. You see? But at the same time, you could see after 4 years, it took a toll on them. You see? And one of the things they did not do, they did not refresh the squad good enough. That is why that 5th year was so difficult. Because you still had too many players over 30 years still starting in the team. They don't have the legs again. And the game intense. The modern football intense. You see? So all things like this, you know, to keep up to date. To keep up to date with football. And to try to pass on the right information to the young players. Because now football is a game that it's quicker. It's quicker. You know, everything now is done at the intensity of the game, not like our time. Pace. You see? Right? So I just want, before I end, to tell Charlie, you know, that he definitely have left a real serious impact on us in St. Lucia, those of us who know you. You know? Yeah, you know? We always, because I just always talk about you. I just always be mentioning your name to him. You know? I remember something about Charlie. When he played so and the game got physical, he used to ball rough games. Rough games gets me nervous. I never forget that. I never forget that because he was a man. If you want to play physical, that's his thing. That's his thing. Don't come physical with him. He will beat you. He will beat you for sure. Yeah, Charlie. Yeah, Charlie was a man. Yeah, and then I remember he playing with Snow. Snow that used to play for VSADC. Sorry. Yeah, and Snow telling him, bite him, Charlie. Yeah. Snow telling him, bite him, Charlie. You know. No, but to tell you the truth, what at the time to me when he was here, he was the best stopper in St. Lucia. Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was the best stopper in St. Lucia. You know? Yeah. And that is the reason why we were able to win the Popham in '72. You see, because he was the linchpin in the defense. You know, he was the leader. Yeah, he was the leader in the defense. And one thing about him too, he used to talk, eh? He used to organize the men in front of him. You see? He used to talk, organize the men in front. He was a leader. He was a leader. You know? So I just, as a St. Lucian, you know, want to tell him thanks, you know. Thanks. And I want to also tell Clery as a community, all of you here, right? I really, because no other club does things like this. No other club. You understand? Because, yeah, that's an example for the clubs, really. You see? That's an example for the clubs. You see, to come together and celebrate the past players, you know, celebrate Charlie Brown, you know. And I want to mention John, because John really working hard to hold Clery together. You know, he really working hard. Yeah, John Seeley, really working hard to keep Clery together, you know. Right, so I just hope that those of you that overseas, they forget him. Because sometimes if you're mixing a little set of uniforms, a little, you know, whatever. You know, whether it's to train, whether it's to play officially, you know, because that does help. Because you know how it is in St. Lucia. You know, that does help, you know. So if you could sometimes send down a set of uniform for him, for the semi-pro team or for the youth team, whatever. You know. So once again, fellas, thanks for inviting me. You know, I really enjoyed the evening. And one thing I want to say before I leave is that we competed hard against each other in my time, but we always had a good relationship with each other. Always. Because I know Lala from a little boy, from young. But we always had a good rapport, good relationship. We never, but when we play on the field, we play hard to win.
When everybody's play for us,
yeah, Winkle. Yeah, Winkle. Because Winkle was always different. You know, he didn't want to play for Lesland because he find all his brothers playing there. He wanted to be different. He wanted to play for All Stars. He was good too. No, he was a good player. He was a national youth player. You see, well, we grew up in football because we grew up right by the field. You know. Zoti too. Zoti was already. Zoti was a national under 16. Zoti wasn't the best, you know. Trevor was the best. The brother ahead of me. Trevor was the best. 8 of us. 8 of us. Yeah. 8 boys. My mom and dad had 8 boys. Yeah. But Trevor, the one before me, he was the best. But he never really liked the limelight.
How many played national?
He never liked the limelight.
All of them except Trevor, right?
Yeah, Trevor, the coach used to beg me and tell me, boy, why your brother not coming and train? But he never liked the limelight. He was comfortable, just being an ordinary. Yeah. Trevor was top.
Yeah. That's true. Top. Yeah.
And he was quick. You see? Because I really patterned him. Because he was versatile. He could have played anywhere and excel. And that's how I copied him. That's why I could have played anywhere. You see, because versatility now, if you look at football now, versatility now is it. If you're a specialist, you have to be very good. You see, if you're a specialist, like you're a goal scorer, you have to be damn good. You're a defender, you have to be damn good. Otherwise, coaches looking for people who could attack and defend. Otherwise,
let's just go play.
Yeah, because those are the only 2 principles of the game, attack and defense. So the more players, they like all-rounder in cricket. If you have players who could bat, bowl and field, your team's stronger. Same thing in football. You see? So fellas, enjoy the rest of the evening, right? And I have to. Yeah. Charlie. Charlie, I'm very happy to see you. Really happy to see you. But look.
Yeah. Let me thank Stuart Charles again for gracing us with his presence. And Dave, take a picture there. Dave, the picture take-outer, is not a photographer, but a picture take-outer. Thank you, Dave. Yes, thank you. we could see the passion and you know. Yes, we could hear the enthusiasm and you know the enjoyment out of Stuart Charles when he gave his little speech to our players, to our football fraternity here in Clery, you know, and we want to thank him so much for being here. So, Coach, once again, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Coach. All right, thank you so much, guys. Thank you. Let's say a big thank you to Stuart Charles. A big thank you to Stuart Charles for being here tonight and for gracing us with his presence. You know, you could see when Stuart starts talking football, it could go on for hours. It could go on for the whole day. And we just, you know, it's really exciting, guys. Thanks for coming out. Before we close to, I would have Mr. James and Abbott. I think we have one or two other speakers. Robby. You have anybody else? But, yes. Yeah. Before we, you know, Mr. Charlie Brown wants to. Okay, all right. Okay, yeah. Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, guys, it's just showing that what's highlighted tonight is what Clery has done, what for the people in Clery, which is y'all. You know, what y'all have done for the younger ones, for the generations of talent, you know, and how inspiring it was for all of us, you know, that we knew that became, and like the speakers, you heard from the different speakers, Clery is a different community. You know, for me, every time we speak about Clery, I don't think there's any community that has a group chat with thousands of people in the diaspora. Clery has it. Always banter, whether it's political, whether it's, you know, anything that comes up, Clery on the chat, everybody takes part, you know, so you don't get that in all communities. When we have our stories and we bring back everybody together, we have so much information. And like I said, it's not just footballers, it's professionals in their own right. Lawyers, doctors, you know, businessmen, you know, entrepreneurs. We have politicians, a new one coming up. We have our pilot. Our pilot, anywhere you want to go, you could check Mr. Black. We have our chef. Yeah, right? So, you know, I think today, I before we close off, I want to give you have so many different names. I want 2 months, but Dugun. No, that's Dugun. That's not 2 months. Dugun. We'll give him an opportunity to say a few words before we finish off. All right? Let's come in and say a few words before we close off.
Yes, good night, everybody. My name is Selwyn Maitland, a.k.a. Dugun. But a lot of you may not know. Tonight I heard somebody mention about shadowing. Somebody mentioned about shadowing. It was Robby? But the real shadow was me. I thought, when I said shadow, I thought that would refer to me, sitting right there. But the real shadow, because from a very little boy growing up, Clery was it. And from a little boy growing up, whenever Clery playing, I raised up in a Christian home, Seventh-day Adventist. My father didn't want me to go and watch football. I used to marrow and go and play and watch Clery play. Anywhere Clery would be playing, I would be there. And when it came to your 10th boy, you see me there. I scoring goals. Little boy, yeah. Yes, off the pitch. I scoring goals. I defending. That's no joke. I was the real Shadow. And that was my first nickname in Clery, Shadow. And some of you may not even know it. My first nickname in Clery, you know. But I had some real memorable days in Clery. Clery is the best community in the whole world. It's no joke. Best community in the whole world. No matter where you go, where you roam, when you come back to St. Lucia, you must find yourself back in the community, you know. So I remember as a young boy growing up, I didn't have many memorable times playing for Clery. But I remember as a little boy growing up, it was my passion to play for Clery. That was my passion to play for Clery. But growing up as a young boy, I remember in the afternoon, you have to leave work early to come to Clery field. If you reach there late, as a young boy, the bigger fellas like Harlan, the Nazi and the Nicholas and the big fellas, if you start before them, when they stand on the side, hey you, call out. Yeah, you. And most times it would be me because I would want to come there early to get a better run. But you find out as I start, sometimes I even spend 5 minutes, they will get me called out. And this thing used to piss me off, trust me. This thing used to piss me off. And I never got an opportunity to really play for All-Stars or Clery. But I remember in 1979, it's no joke, in 1979, when I realized, boy, All-Stars had a team, I decided to form a team because I used to go to Seventh-day Church. So I got some guys from the Seventh-day Adventist Church because we have started the football in the sub. Sunday morning football, we the Seventh-day boys that started football in the sub. And all of, you know, so we had a group of guys playing there, you know, and then I considered, boy, I had to start, you know, I was around 21, somewhere around there. So I got a group of guys and we formed the team. That time, it's in 79, that was just around the election time. I'll tell you about my age just now. I'll tell you about my age. So in 1979, I came out with a team called Red Star Dynamites, and I was just around the election time. Then that, you know, and in those days we still had March Pass. We walked March Pass to VG, to Marshall Grounds, and we had Socorama and stuff. So, you know, so we came out with the star. We had red, white, and blue, and a red star there, and we marching on, going on to, and everybody thought it was a Labour team because we had a star there. Everybody thought it was a Labour team, you know. But that was my first year I played, you know. And I remember that year we had a bunch of young fellas with no name, but we started doing well, football in the sub. And VBCC, I'll never forget that. If there's one thing I could ever remember in my football history, was that VBCC had just got demoted from first division, from the second division. And I, and my brother Franklin, Franklin played together with Charlie Brown. Franklin, he played hell. Yeah, Franklin, he's before me. And that night, Franklin was working, young boy, accountant, working at Pickmore. It was a Wednesday night, I'll never forget that. No, it was Tuesday night, and we had to play Wednesday. And that night he gave me talk. But if you see, if all it says, Hala, Dana, Carol, big names, fellas, man. Never get it. You know, but I was determined because I couldn't play for VBCC because I was a young boy, so I formed my team. So I was eager. I want to play against VBCC. I want to beat VBCC. That's no joke, you know. And my brother gave me talk that night. He gave me talk that night. But I know what I know. And trust me, it was I Selwyn Maitland against VBCC. That is no joke. I take on VBCC single-handedly. And yes, that is no joke, you know. I beat VBCC. If you all call Ali Black now, hold on, I'll tell you about that. I beat VBCC 3-1 in the sub there, with all the top players. Yes, hello there. I beat VBCC. Hello. I beat VBCC 3-1. Hold on. I beat VBCC 3-1. Hold on. I'll tell you about it. No, hold on. I beat VBCC 3-1 in the sub with all the top players. Okay, hold on. Immediately after that year, I got an offer to go to Barbados to work. I went to Barbados. To go to Barbados to work with Ideal Homes in Barbados. I spent 4 years in Barbados working with Ideal Homes. When I came back, on my return, I considered I have to give back something to Clery. As I came back, I landed and I went straight to Clery. Just around the football season. Ali Coco was coaching his fellas there, getting ready for the football season. When Ali Coco saw, I came out and I told Ali Coco, well, by back, and I want to. Ali Coco remember my performance against them because I went to them. Yes, I went to them. Ali Coco remember my performance. Listen to me. Listen to me. I didn't go for executive. All of y'all know to be a member of BBCC. To be a member of BBCC, you have to go for executive to interview and so on. I never got interviewed. Ali Coco welcomed me into BBCC and made me captain. No, listen to me. Hold on. Now, a lot of y'all don't know that. A couple of years ago, I was at BBCC. I told some guys, I captain BBCC, and they tried me. Tony Paul was on my Tony Paul. I think you played. You played. Somai, fat boy. Yeah, okay. I'll finish. Yeah, so there's guys. Yes, I captain. Yeah, call Ali Coco. Yeah, I would love you to do that. And when I told them I captain BBCC, a lot of them deny, but I know, and that was through that performance that I got, but so it was a lot of great memories of being, So guys, I want to let you all know, BBCC, Clery is the best community in the whole world. Okay, guys. So it was a good night. I thank everybody. It was let's keep it up. And let's continue being Cleryans like we always does. Okay? Thank you very much.
Well done. Let's invite at this moment our guests. Right. Now we have our guest of honor, Mr. Charlie Brown, and we'll get a few words from him. We're so happy. We elated, the whole group from the Clery Football Fraternity, for having you back in St. Lucia on this special occasion. And we'd like to also thank your wife for being here with you, and sharing this moment with us, because again, you are in our thoughts, you are always with us, you are a legend, and you have to be proud of being a legend of Clery, because that's the number one community in St. Lucia, right?
Charlie, you're a Clerian.
You're a Clerian.
Good night, everyone.
We'll bring the passport for you soon.
It's very, very good to be here. I was part of Paragon Sports Club in Trinidad, so I'm accustomed to club life. In Paragon, football, cricket, we had a cycling team and another athletics team. And we did a lot of socializing. So when I came to St. Lucia, my co-worker, Rodney, after spending 1 year in Paragon in St. Lucia, I didn't feel at home in the atmosphere. And Rodney was always there, choking me, Clery. And I took up his offer, and I never regretted it. Right? I felt at home in Clery. I love the camaraderie, I would say. And
I felt at ease and welcome. I was kind of apprehensive when I first came, but the warmth that I was received with, all fears melted away. And all Bacterians abstracted me, right? As coach and player, as Charles February said, I gave my all. Right? I used to do a lot of training on my own because the maxim of Paragon in Trinidad was fitness. Once you're fit, football game becomes easier. A fit body, a sharp and a fit mind. Right? And I always stress to the footballers in Clery, team spirit, team spirit, team spirit. What we lack in skills, we need for in fitness and teamwork. And I always felt at ease. I always got the best support of all players. Right? I was never one to, don't boast on me. I always a humble person. The only time you see Charlie Brown getting on is when he's partying.
You're just like me.
In a Trinity home, I have always been a party animal.
And when you used to kick me at practice?
And I must pause to recognize my old partner, old man Sage. Everywhere I went, any fete, he was most present. And someone told me that after I left St. Lucia, Mr. Sage claimed my crown. He's told everyone, since I left, he is the #1 raider in St. Lucia. May he rest in peace. Yeah. Again, although in my time we never won a trophy in that Clery, what I got from them was full support. We got supporters, and we even gained new fans. Every year we came out, and we trained hard, we played hard, and I got the players to play by the coach's rule. That's what I learned in Trinidad. Play the coach's game. It's a team game, and be physically fit. In my times in St. Lucia, I was living in St. Susie at the time. I used to run from my home, the VG stretch, turn left around the airport, stretch there, and back home. I used to do that on my own. And then after training, I have to go, sometimes to walk and run from San Souci to that Clery Sports Club. So I was fit like a fiddle. And I tried my best to get all the players fit. And I think we were one of the fittest teams in the league. What we lack in skills, we made up for in team spirit and physical fitness. We play together, and we always enjoyed playing together. I must apologize for my, I don't always remember everybody, but I consider myself to be a Lactarian. In Trinidad, I see Dana and Carol McIntosh. They love the steel band. I don't think anybody in Trinidad loves steel band more than me. I love to dance, all kind of music. And I always see them there. And every year they said, Charlie Brown, let you go to St. Lucia next year. They even invited my wife, but somehow it never yet materialized. But it's very good and nice. It's a good feeling to be here. and I feel at home. And I hope at the next one, whenever it is, I can be here again. I remember Hala, as he spoke, what he done was on the football scene. The Wolf Braffett on my left hand side. The Wolf. I remember the CS brothers, but I couldn't remember where they played. But the team. And the St. Lucian coach told me, he said I play my best position as sweeper, last stopper. And that's where I always excelled at. The last sweeper. And you have your defense set up. You have to make sure that nobody in the defense gets behind you. You always have to be the last man. When you win the ball, you run out together. Always with the last man. So you have to be looking so and see where the last man is. And you push as a whole team going forward. Right? So again, I enjoyed being as the last defender. The St. Lucian coach allowed me the liberty of having to coach the defense. Right? My advice always accepted.
Charlie, who was the coach at the time, remember?
No, sorry.
Was it Smokey Particle?
To be honest, I cannot remember. But the coach had confidence in me. He would tell me, go with the defenders over there and give him some pointers. But we always played like a team, like Clery, the national team. And in the last year when I was about to leave, I remember this young red man, I understand they call me the Big Bull, is it Big Bull? Yeah, Big Bull, yeah. I always thought of him as a man, a young man after my own heart. Hard tackling, young, fearless. And then I remember Stuart Charles too, with his kind of attitude, as you say, you play hard, you tackle hard. Right? And my experience in football, I really get it from Paragon. The football coach in Paragon gave me a special job on the field, was to blot out all goal scoring forwards. That was my work. So I faced the best forwards in all the teams in Trinidad. And I gained a reputation of being one of the hardest tacklers. The coach said, the coach told me, the ball pass, the man cannot pass. So I had him hopping and jumping.
Robby watching you boy, it's a good thing I miss that generation.
Yeah. So I made the, in my last year before I came to St. Lucia, I made the North-South teams, where the best teams from the North play the best teams from the South. This is called the North-South Classic. And the last year, before I left Trinidad, I was selected on that team. And that was just a stepping stone to the national team. Right?
So I always enjoyed my football. I was a utility player. I used to play forward, left wing, all over the place. But I settled down as last stopper, sweeper. Where you could read the game, because you see the last line of defense. And your job is to make sure that where the danger is and to shift to that side. So that is the main thing as a sweeper. You have to see where the danger is and make sure, if you have to tackle first, make sure that you're guiding the forward where you have support. So you know there's a man here, don't get beat on the side. You get beat on the side. Where there's always a last man. And when you win the ball, you move out in triangles. When you're attacking, you must always have a choice. At least two passes. That's when you see the man without the ball, running with the ball is the most important. You have to make yourself available to receive that ball, and the person with the ball has to see who is in the best attacking position. So it's all a mind game, as Stuart said. You play with your mind, you're fit, your mind sharp, and leave the rest, the natural skills. And football is a team game. Play together, win together, lose together. But last but not least, you enjoy playing your sport. Thank you very much.
Let's get a picture. We'll get Mr. Ernest James and Mr. Robert Black to come in and say the final few words. You know, and we want to thank Right, so thank you all so much. You know, thank you to our legend. This is Charlie Brown.
Let's say thanks to Robby. Robby, thanks.
Right, so let's have Mr. Robert Black and Mr. Ernest James at the front to say a few words before we end our proceedings. And we want to thank again, with all our hearts, Mr. Charlie Brown for being here with us, and his wife, his beautiful wife. Thank you all for making the journey. You know, we are so happy to have you all, you know. And also Mr. Swiber Sime, you know, our legend, my striker, you know.
No, you're surprised.
I still remember the bicycle you scored. I still remember that. I will not forget that.
That's a good one.
Yes, but what I learned today is that Hala said he defeated you at every opportunity he got. And we don't have records. We don't have the archives. You know, I have to call Tony to try to get archives for us or something. So, right? Right. But it's really beautiful. It's blau, yeah. It's really beautiful to see, you know, to get a support from everybody coming out there today. And Robby, let me say again, thank you so much. Thank you so much to Chef Robby for having us. You know, thank you so much. You know, yeah. All right.
Yeah, general people, I just want to thank everybody for coming here. This initiative was conceptualized by Apik and myself. When we thought of it, we felt it was something good to do, having all the legends here and just exactly what transpired tonight, where everybody comes, say their story, you know, having somebody like Charlie Brown in our midst, you know, was icing on the cake, you know. So we hope that every year we'll have a sort of event like that, you know, and it will gain momentum. More people will be part of it. We were hoping that it would be filled tonight, but we still got a good crowd. It's just the beginning of bigger things. Yeah, so we'd like to thank a lot of people who made this possible. Tender Rodney, Mr. Rudy Gurley. When I contacted him, he just loved this idea. I want to thank Rudy. He's out of Ireland. Yeah, he told me he would not be able to be part of it. He'd be out of the island, but he was somebody who was he helped us out with putting this together. Mr. Hazel Foswa, one of the guy there, a Clery man. Yes, big time there. Yeah. Tobo, yeah. Well, those who live in Clery know him.
One thing I want to say. One of my biggest regrets is not trying to speak patois. Nobody around where I work for, right? Spoke patois.
Okay. Well, you can learn. Not to. Yeah, so there were a lot of people who came through for us. Mr. Marshall Steele was one of them. Yes. Yeah, Max. Mr. Favrier, Stephen Favrier, he was one of the people when we spoke about it. And believe it or not, we had people all the way in the UK who supported us. Mr. Gavin Stifley is one of them. When we mentioned it, he was right on board. He loved the idea, and he rallied his troops in the UK, and they too assisted us. Mr. Shalmain Dollar. So we had so many people who came through. But we will be making a more formal thank you on Saturday, where we'll give you a list of everybody who really supported us. The numbers are plenty. So the small people, the big people, everybody. So we just, like to thank everybody for coming here tonight, and hope to see you all tomorrow. We have our football game. We hope all of you guys here today will be there tomorrow. No, it's a fun thing. We want participation. Everybody come. Yeah. The game starts at 5 o'clock, and follow the game. We'll have some entertainment and whatnot. So we hope 5 p.m. Yes, Dugun, come with your boots. So Ernest wants to say a few words.
Guys, first and foremost, we thank the legends for coming out. Along the way, it's a little tough because you try to get guys, you try to hit people, and people just not supporting what we're doing. But we're happy you guys are here. We want to thank Stevenson King. He's one of our sponsors. In New York City, we have Dane Cox, we have Winston Regis. We have a list of people that put their monies to make this happen. And we're just thankful for everybody. I can't mention all the names because there's a lot of names. Philip Joseph, people I beg for money that lives in Canada, England, and they give us to make this happen with the uniforms and the stuff. Royal Builders is one of our key, a company I work for in New York. One of the things, tomorrow, we're going to have the Legends game. We ask every single legend to please show up. Even though you just touch the ball and you go and sit down. We let the young guys take over. We beg you all.
Participation. We want participation.
We need it.
Robby included?
Yeah, man. We need Robby there. We need Ray Isaac. We need Ray Isaac there, Robby. Handle Ray for us, please. Yeah.
And I must tell you all, we have uniforms for everybody, yeah? It's a keeps, yeah.
Everybody,
so
just come with your football
you
boots.
come with your kit and it's yours to go. No, they're not numbered, they're not named.
And we letting you all know we have the most valuable player award. We have the best defensive player. We have every single award they have for the seniors.
One award I ain't mentioned in your
So it promises to be a real fun event tomorrow. So I would like everybody to show up. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, guys. So thanks once again. Thanks so much for coming out. We appreciate all the support. We appreciate all our Clery football fraternity. All right. And before we leave, we have to sing our Clery anthem. All right. Let's go.
The Clery boys, you'll get fever in your liver, and that fever will never recover.
If you follow the Clery boys, you get fever in your liver, and the fever will never recover.
Out today!
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. That's the Clery spirit at Chef Robby.